Hello, everybody! Welcome to the Dead Unicorn. My name's Corey. We're playing Vallanthia. It's the Open D6 fantasy system, and it's run by Howard, and he is here ready to go, and we're all here ready to go. We are going to have a fantastic game because we have a new player today. James is playing Koya, and he'll probably introduce his character shortly, but I'd like to introduce everybody else. Playing Erda is Tarek. Playing Esri is Sarah. I play White Ape. And I'd like to do a shout out to our patrons scrolling in the upper right hand corner. They help support the channel, and they also get to vote for their favorite character, and that character gets a special benefit. And the person who's winning is me. I am the winner, I believe. Let me just refresh it just to make sure.
Again.
Twice in a row now.
Double rigged.
Yep, it's me. Voting is now closed.
Of course it is.
Thank you, everybody, for showing your love to this host. But hey, I get a character point. That should help.
We demand a recount.
Like three people voted today. It's like 1, 2, 3.
And if you want to vote, all you need to do is join the Patreon and donate $1, and that's it. Hey, Howard, let's get to the game.
All right. So, having temporarily split the party, our gang was pursuing two different leads to hopefully locate Airdrek, their ally and former inmate within the Lights Peace Asylum. With their loose, freakish skin, a reminder of their ordeal with Demon Valdrakar, Esri and Tom searched the market square for Gimma Gastane, another escaped inmate, hoping she might be able to lead them to Airdrek. A shopkeeper gave them some information on Gimma, but it appears that her time in the asylum may have left her feral. It was then that Esri discovered that she and Tom were being spied upon by a gnome that works for a shady antique dealer she met several days ago. The gnome quickly ran away when he realized he had been spotted. Meanwhile, Erda and White Ape searched the east side slums, interviewing homeless people and the dark-skinned man serving soup to them. They learned where Airdrek was last seen and managed to catch up with him, hiding beneath garbage in a darkened alley. They convinced Airdrek to come back with them to the inn called the Murdered Squirrel. Once the gang was gathered together at the inn, Airdrek used his mystical healing powers to repair the damaged flesh of Esri and Tom. Then the gang combined their knowledge to go through that book of necromancy that they had acquired from their night at the overrated Gauntlet back when this adventure had begun. They were able to decipher something interesting about the spells within the book. Each spell ended with an unnecessarily tacked-on phrase praising a demon called Malfrost. And as they began to discuss the meaning of this, the room grew cold and the lights dimmed. At which point all of you hear a dwarf who says, "Ah, what the? Who's planned dimming the lights? Is it the windows open?" Which is the man behind the bar, who is noticeably annoyed that his bar has changed significantly in atmosphere. He begins to move around the bar and check the windows.
Is it supposed to be getting dark at this point in time? Like, what time of day is it?
It is evening, but the thing is the windows, as you look around, the windows are already battered shut, even though he is double checking them. Oh. It's as if the candles that are lit, or the torches rather, that are lit within the bar just aren't giving off the same amount of light that they should be. Like, you can look directly at the flame without it hurting your eyes as much as it should.
I need to interrupt 1 second. For those of you who are Tom fans, don't worry, Tom's not going anywhere. Matt is taking a break from this game. He'll probably be here for the next or something like that. I don't know.
He's just visiting with a friend for one night. Moving on.
Yes, thank you. I just want to make sure that people might think that he's gone forever, and he's not. Matt,
I'm not replacing Matt. I am not replacing Matt. For anybody worried, I am not replacing him.
Nor could you, but
I mean, maybe
I'm just being added so we still have 4 players when somebody can't be here.
I get really close to Erda.
Tom.
I get really close to Erda and I say, hey, did we just summon a demon?
No.
Then why did everything
don't
get all
think-
spooky?
I'm pretty sure we didn't.
Let's say his
That's
name
not
backwards and
reassuring.
maybe we'll unsummon him.
It's not reassuring because
I
you're
mean, I'll
kind
try
of a
it.
liar, but
I mean, let's
I didn't read it out loud though.
hold on.
Did Did I read it out loud? Ezra, you were here. Did I read it
the
out
name?
loud?
And that
Howard?
is when the name was discussed out loud that the lights dimmed. Yes.
Howard, am I in the room?
That is something I was trying to verify with you before we started. Did you want to just start inside the Myrtle Squirrel? Do you have a problem starting there?
I do not have a problem with that.
So
Then,
let's-
yeah, you are more than welcome to be walking in at this point. Or you can have already been in there as one of the other people having a beer, in which case you can't, you know how to drag yourself
Yeah.
onto the thing and just place yourself
So
at the
You
table.
can now also join us in a place that smells exactly like a murdered squirrel and has beer that tastes actually pretty good.
It's the
Yeah,
myrtled
come on.
squirrel, by the way.
Yeah, I myrtled
The myrtled
squirrel.
squirrel.
there's
murdered the
literally a
word
dead
murder.
squirrel nailed to
I'm
the
having
front of
trouble putting myself in there.
It's because
I
I,
don't know.
always say myrtleated.
You should be
instead
able to
of
just drag your
murder.
name
I
to the
always say
bar
myrtleated.
or to the. to
There
the
we
seat.
go.
And all right, you're at a bar stool. Cool.
Yep.
Hey, there you are.
So I'm
Okay.
gonna.
In that case, upon everything dimming and the bartender complaining, I'm going to try to read the effect.
Okay.
Okay.
To do that, you need to make a mana manipulation roll or a mana roll. And if you have an appropriate skill, roll that skill and go for it. And are you wearing any metal at the moment?
No, I'd have the trident leaning against the bar next to me, but not on me.
Good to know.
Well,
In that
that's a
case,
critical
you actually
failure.
are at a 1 point higher.
That's a critical failure, which is bad, but also good. You get an experience point.
Hey, you just got slightly better at reading. You're like, I did that wrong, but I think I know what I did wrong. So you do get an XP or a character point towards learning that skill. In
Just
the
for that
meantime,
skill.
though, you do not know exactly what's going on.
Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna say, hey, Erda, I'm gonna say his name backwards, and maybe that'll undo this thing. Zorflam. Didn't work. Zorflam.
I'm going to try unnamed mana, or not unnamed, concept light, and try to bring light back in.
Sure. You can call on the concept of light. If you have a skill for it, go for it. Otherwise, make a straight mana roll. Okay, hang on, let me switch frames here. I didn't see the roll coming up. Oh, there it is. Oh, much better that time. With that, the light, as you call the light back into the room, let me make a roll. Actually, I'm going to make 2 rolls. You're making this fun. And you're
So
gonna
this
regret
red-haired
this,
woman
just
at the bar started muttering, and something happens.
Zorflam.
We're so
Maybe if I
it
keep
is-
saying it, it'll work.
Zorflam.
You have to chant it.
Oh, that's a lot of 6s.
It's actually 3 6s, which is appropriate for a demon.
Yes.
And because you've annoyed it,
The great spoopy season is upon us.
yes. Oh, yeah,
Officially.
'cause the last
Look,
one was
I don't
6.
even know if I spelled. I don't even know if I spelled Malfrost right.
Malfrost, Malfrost, Malfrost.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
It's
Malfrost
actually not
with
one
a
of the
Z.
harder names I've made.
Yeah, I actually wrote Malfrost, so when you were saying Zorflam, I was like, okay,
Okay.
sure. Zorflam.
I heard a Z
Essentially,
at the end, okay?
For a moment, light comes back as this strange woman with the face tattoos at the bar begins to chant in. Are you doing it in Sylph or Common? Vallanthia?
Sylph.
Sylph. All right. Aswone chants in Sylph, and I think everybody except for the mushroom speaks Sylph.
Yep. We all speak
Um,
Sylph.
And he looks around just confused as he usually does. And as she chants, she's-
Light.
she calls forth light, and light increases in the room. And then light suddenly plunges away from the room as you can almost sense the concept being destroyed. And I say that only to Koya, sensing the concept. The rest of you just see it get super dark, and you are now at a -5 to see in this room. And the dwarf goes, "Ah, huh, you plowing mages casting your crap." And then the other people are like trying to you can hear them shuffling around and muttering to each other in Vallanthia, basically asking, "Hey, who's gonna torch? God dang it, what's going on?"
I will be translating kind of under my breath to Tom because he's my partner, so I'm not gonna leave him out of the loop.
I
I
yell out to the
just-
dwarf in Earth Terran, I believe. Earth language.
Terran. It's just Terran.
Is it? Hold on. What's it
Terran
called?
is the language spoken by dwarves as well
Yeah,
as
Terran. I will yell out to him
giants and
in
mushroom
Terran.
people.
I'll say, "Don't you dwarves have ultra vision or dark vision or whatever you call it?"
We call it.
As
the
you
whole-
are an elf and you also have it, you know that it only cancels levels of darkness. It doesn't actually let you see perfectly unless you're extremely practiced at it.
Ah.
So
the
you'd
whole
already be
time-
aware of that. It's up to you if you still say it.
the whole time this is all going on, including White Ape talking to him, the only thing that Erda has been doing is thinking about what the repercussions of what we just did might have been, and if this really is a demonic incursion. Like, is this a manifestation of a demonic power? And I have Scholar
Oh, you
that I
think?
could roll, or I could do an extra normal roll. Either one, I'm happy to provide.
I think-
I'm okay with you doing extra normal if you are using magic to try and figure it out. If you're not using magic to figure it out, then just your scholarly intellect will be fine.
Okay.
Now, when the concept starts getting eaten, I grab my trident and stand up and get ready for a fight.
That's fair.
And you know what? If Erda can't figure it out, then I will roll Scholar as well because I feel like this should be kind of obvious to at least one of us.
Yeah. If Erda can't figure it out,
Erda
we
knows
should
everything.
probably
Erda,
feel like we're
you
in trouble.
consider what all's going on. You do know that the name Malfrost was said. And I don't have a log of our previous conversation. I think it was just us talking in game and us, going through and going, "Oh, this spell has unnecessary
Well, yeah, I had done a
praise
check.
tacked on praising Malfrost." I don't remember which one of you made that revelation, but once it was said out loud is when this all started.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
It was
that
either
part.
you or Airdrek, but somebody said it.
No. Esri found a passage as she was reading because she knows Vallanthia.
Right, but the
I-
name was
Was-
written in Elysian.
Exactly. So I read in Elysian what it was specifically, did a check, was like, oh, wait, this could be a source. The demon themselves could be the source that's trying to get more worshippers to gather more power. And that's when I asked Air Direct something specifically about demons. And he was like, well, what, you mean Value Car? And I said, no, Malfrost or whatever.
Oh,
And,
okay. Well, then there you go. That's
then
what
you
happened.
did the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
We can't
it's
say his.
on you, not me.
Don't say his name anymore. Just say
So
his
we're
name.
clear on that.
Like me, say his name backwards. Sorflam. That's how we will call him from now on, so this never happens again. Sorflam.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Sounds
Anyway.
very
So with your roll, though, you're able to kind of go over it, and you're like, yes, this definitely started after he said his name. And with that high scholarly check and your own knowledge of magic, you're aware that names have power. In fact, you're pretty sure there's even an arcane school of magic that's all about using names and the power from them. So yes, names have power, and you said a demon's name, and everything went sideways.
I just hope there's not another
saying
demon named
demons'
Sorflam.
names. Damn it. This keeps happening to me. Why does this keep happening?
You should say Valrakar a few times because I don't think he can do much about it anymore.
Yeah.
Because you just
to piss
don't
him
know
off.
when to be quiet, man.
Look,
Somewhere in the 9th level of hell, Valrakar would be like, "Leave me alone! Stop saying my name!"
I'm still going through basic training. God damn it.
I hope this
All
is
this
not.
over again.
I hope this is not a Tomax and Zaymot moment where there's like another demon that is his twin brother, and every time I say his name backwards, I'm just like summoning that guy instead.
You know, you brought up Tomax and Zaybot last game. Is this gonna be a trend?
Did I?
It seems that way.
I mean, they are like one of the
Huge
best
part of your
Cobra
childhood,
guys.
apparently. I was more
There's that.
Transformers over GI Joe.
They're
Everybody always has one or the other from
Look,
our time
they're-
period that they
they're
preferred.
perfectly in sync. It's the perfect superpower, unless you punch one and the other one feels it, in which case it's totally stupid.
Yeah, really, their power to share pain is like the worst power. I have no idea what you're talking
Yeah.
about. The only way that's good, I suppose, if one of them's getting laid, the other one's like, yeah.
I didn't even need to get out of bed today.
This video game got intense.
Leave it to you to be weird about it, Howard.
I'm assuming if they can share pain, then it seems only fair.
I can't remember. Were we still at the table, or did we actually retire to the room?
We're in the
No,
table.
you never said
We're
that.
right
I
here.
assumed you were at the table the whole time.
Okay, well then, that is troubling.
So I'm going to put this guy over here checking this window.
So I'm gonna
Because he
turn
got that far before it got super dark.
I'm gonna
Well, I'm
turn
still standing,
to.
leaning up against the pole here, but just like now more worriedly looking around, like agitatively.
I'm turning to Airdrek and I'm saying, "Hey, Airdrek, you know more about this than anybody. What's going on here? And why isn't it saying his name backwards, like reversing it?"
He can't understand you.
Oh yeah, he only speaks rah 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 hiss. Yeah.
I'll repeat what Corey asked.
Urda. Oh, well, Urda,
You
you
need
hear him go,
Urda to
I don't know what you're saying.
translate.
Yeah.
Have Urda translate for you.
I just repeat what he said, but I look worried, and you can tell by the tone of my voice that I am nervous.
All right. Airdrek thinks on it. I'll have him make a scholar check. Koya, are you doing anything while the people at the table, you can't make out anymore, I don't think. 'Cause
Nope,
think
I
you have
can't
dark
see
vision
shit.
anymore.
That's why I'm just standing there with my trident going, fuck.
You have a trident? Can I have a
Well, I'm a
piece?
Well,
gladiator.
Trident fights cavities.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like a piece.
Yeah, okay, man.
What are the cavity guys called again? What were they called from the Crest commercials?
I think I don't know.
God damn it.
The plaque boys.
The Crestor kids? I don't know.
Wow, that's a crap roll.
The plaque.
So I
Jeez.
see that besides these people at a table over there that are technically the source of the issue, there's two other guys, but I don't know who's the cause. I just know it's not the bartender.
He doesn't-
So my head's kind of on a swivel between the two guys at one table and this group over here.
Well, there's also a group. In the group, to be honest, we look like we're probably up to no good. There's a dude with
The other two guys look like miners, as
Yeah.
in they are covered in soot, and they have.
Well, they shouldn't be
picks.
in the bar. It shouldn't serve minors.
And I that's why I clarified what they looked like because I knew that joke was coming.
Yeah, I still had to make it. Sorry.
No. We've seen Galaxy Quest one too many times.
As for the other group, well, you see their pictures. They look weird.
We do.
Airdrek,
We look like troublemakers.
well,
Especially me.
I'm gonna fill in for Urda real quick. Urda will.
here.
Oh, he's back. Airdrek tells Urda that he has absolutely no idea what's going on because I rolled absolute shit.
Yeah, I was gonna
Airdrek
say.
isn't the smartest, but he
I'm-
does have a scholar specialization in demons, but
Yeah.
not today.
I just imagine he looked at me and was like, "I don't really understand any of the words you just said."
It's weird. It sounded like Perfect Reptile, and I still didn't get it.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know
you
if I'm
still
just
have no idea
zoning. I
what
just
you're
keep
talking about,
zoning out
yeah.
every time you talk. I just can't
So
focus anymore.
It's just
This
you're so
guy-
boring. I don't want to listen.
Exactly.
guy's
Just so
name-
monotonous.
This guy's name has Frost in it. So do you think that he has cold powers?
Well, it's
As you say that-
Malfrost, so it's bad.
Don't say- what are you doing?
Stop talking. Because I'm rolling something, and I was literally about to roll this. And I was like, wait, stop talking, so this can happen as you say it. Which really wasn't as great as it could have been, but it's still a good roll. As I take off the 6, it's still a 19. The temperature drops. It is now chilly in the bar to the point that you'd all like to cuddle by the fire, even though you're wearing winter clothing. But it is not freezing in the bar, because I didn't roll high enough. I tried.
Okay, first off, I'm saying, by Danu, what idiot is summoning this shit?
I
And
flick
then-
Erda behind the ear. What are you doing?
And then follow up with, whoever is doing this, shut up.
Because clearly Erda is a frost mage. You've known that for years.
Yes.
Ezra will probably whisper
I'm
he
sorry,
can't. Believe
But I was
me.
technically right, though.
Sorflam. Sorflam is his name, okay?
Zorflam,
Thank you.
Flim, Flam.
Erda, you really can't be quiet to save your life, can you?
I'm trying to explain the situation, okay?
Okay, because I'm hearing this group making a
What?
lot of noise, and they are closer, and it's obviously not the miners causing this issue.
What use is
I'm
all
going to
of
be
this
using the
knowledge?
butt of my trident like a blind man's stick and head towards them.
Okay.
What
Make a
use is
perception
having,
Hey,
roll
look,
to
it's-
try and figure it out using, your other senses.
what use is having
Guys,
all of this
guys,
brain if I cannot
Uh,
speak?
what would
Acumen,
perception
I'll
be?
allow search if you have
Erda.
search. Otherwise, just straight acumen.
Erda,
Okay, then it's straight
the
acumen for me.
bartender's wife is coming over here. She looks angry.
Really?
You can't even see me anymore.
Yes, I do. I have ultravision.
So
Ezra just
you kind
blends
of go
into the
over to
shadows.
here, and you hear they're not where you thought they were. You're kind of misplaced.
But I
Like
but
you
they
thought
haven't
she was
shut
there,
up,
but
so I
now
can keep
suddenly
heading
there's
towards
just
them.
a lot of shadows.
It takes you a bit, but you'll eventually find them. We can.
I
put you over
mean,
there.
I'll make a perception
I'm
check.
just trying to avoid running into things too. Whoa, I'm
Yeah.
in somebody's lap.
Shh. Erda,
And
It just
there's someone in
jumped
front of
into
you.
the-
You think you can't see this person. Not that you
the
normally could.
bartender's
but
wife is
it
like
doesn't matter in the
right
darkness.
there.
So the end of my trident taps the bench you guys are at, and then I go, "What are you idiots doing?"
Nothing. We're drinking. We're having fun. It's party time here at the Murdered Squirrel.
Totally didn't say anything about anybody that's a demon, that's for sure.
No, that's
Oh,
Ernest,
my
we're
shut up.
goodness.
upstanding citizens. Have a drink with us, bartender's wife.
Yeah,
I am not the bartender's
drinks are
wife.
very cold right now. Very frosty.
You're not the bartender's wife.
No,
No,
it
those two
ain't my
separate
wife. What did you
characters.
people do?
We didn't do anything.
Nothing. I just
No, you like us. We're the ones who got rid of the bad people who were harassing your entertainers. Remember?
yeah, we killed the thing that was haunting your bar. And about hauntings.
Maybe
We're your friends.
Hey.
That's why we get to stay here for free.
On the subject of haunting.
maybe it's
I-
this person over here who claims to be your wife.
You're the one claiming to be his wife.
What? I'm a
White
guy.
has never claimed to be anyone's wife. I am certain of that. I have followed him for
I
some
think that
time.
would be an NPC that Howard brought up.
I'm going to try to read the aura in the room again to see the effect
Sure.
so that I have a better chance at unnaming it.
I name it Bob.
Bob, the guy with goldfish.
This isn't really against the caster so much as just identifying what you're looking at, or
Yep.
in the presence of, I should say, in this particular case, because you're not looking at much.
No, sir.
Yeah,
All right,
it'll give me
you
a
see
name.
2 strong, distinct magical auras. I think the fair way to do this, because you can really only name one of them at a time, without stating you're going.
I'm trying to more focus on the darkness effect.
Okay, well then, yeah, you do see that there is an oppressive, magical aura. It isn't darkness. It is actually the name of this particular concept is closer to the word blind, you would think, although you feel like it's being translated out of another language, but naming kind of goes past language into concept, which is what you're literally doing. So this would be closest to blindness, but possibly more like, an eye attack.
So guys,
that actually should make it easier for me to unname it.
Oh.
Yes, it does.
guys,
So I will.
If you look at naming, there is a thing about bonuses once you have a generic name and a true name and all that.
guys, I think we should get Ka Ellis. How do we contact him? Do we have like a...
We have to go to the demonologist's library or archives, and he is
What?
the lead. He is the lead demonologist in the archives for the princess.
Should you be saying this in front of the bartender's mistress?
I'm going to hurt you.
Well, I don't know anything about demons. Okay, I stand up and I start walking away.
Okay, so what I have
I
is
don't know anything
its
about demons,
generic
especially you,
name.
Malfrost. Oops, I said it again.
Yeah.
So what I have is its generic name,
over
right?
this thing right here is just.
Hey, Esri, you're like a darkness person. Is this something you can undo?
Did you not hear me say Esri disappeared into the shadows and wanted nothing to
I
do
like
with
that
it?
you used the obfuscate because we're LARPing vampires.
The
apparently
vampire.
from, like, a decade
These
ago.
are hand signals from Mind's Eye
Okay,
Theater.
old
Actually,
habits die hard, but you knew what I meant.
I
will
will
out of
say
I
it to
still
the...
do this when I'm out of character. I can't stop it.
Exactly.
So,
you knew what
Up
I meant.
here,
So
up
this
here
is what
is
happens
actually
then.
this at Gen Con. If we're out of character.
So
You're gonna make
Holding your
me
hand
roll
up
to
over that because
disappear,
you were also
really?
covering your badge.
That's
You just
funny.
said we were in a dark area. Do I really have to roll to disappear?
No, your shadow thing, I'm going to say you're gone. Unless
Okay.
someone has special magical sight, you're pretty much
so
gone.
Howard,
You guys can talk into the air to see if she's there, but
that's
you don't
exactly
know
what I'm going to do. So I'm like, so Esri, you have like shadow magic. Can you like undo the shadow magic that's happening here? Can you, Esri? Her
It's
drink
not shadows. It's blindness.
her drink is
Oh,
still
I
here.
stubbed my knee on this stupid bench.
Her drink is.
Howard, I
You'll
am
see the
assuming
dark-
it's
you'll see-
generic name, not specific
Yeah,
name.
actually, what'd you roll? Yeah, with that roll, it's only generic.
Okay. In that case, how do I actually modify, or do we just mentally add 5 to it?
Essentially, it changes what I've decided the target number is to do something to it.
Okay. Well, I'm wanting
So-
to unname.
But telling
in
me
this-
you have the generic name tells me to modify it.
Okay, I now have the generic name, so I'm now going to try and get rid of the blindness effect.
All right. Don't flub.
I like how this is
Unless
like.
you want to learn stuff, then flub.
There's the generic name and the brand name of the darkness. It's like.
Generic Cocoa Puffs versus.
I mean,
See.
this is blindness, but is actually made by Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, with that roll, let's see. I have to remember which roll was which. Looking at my own rolls. And now, yeah, with that roll, the darkness remains. And you are aware, I'll give you this much, that it's not that you didn't cast your spell correctly. It's more like whatever you're attacking is just a more intense, more powerful effect than you are ready for. I.e., he had more dice. He got a really high number.
Yeah, I saw.
Okay, Howard, can I, without coming out of hiding, can I roll um
Yeah,
something
you
to see
can,
if I
because of
recognize
your
it?
shadow thing, it does not affect you to
Mhm.
make any type of action. It's not like D&D where I touch someone with a while I'm invisible, I immediately appear. In your case, you're still coated in shadow and you're in a dark room. You're still
Yeah.
gone.
Okay, cool. So what am I rolling to see if I can understand the nature of this? Because I gather I can tell it's not what I do.
Um, I'll just give it to you that that as the area started to get dark, the shadows didn't deepen because that is something you are keenly aware of pretty much all the time is how shadows work. The shadows didn't deepen. It's just sort of like whenever out of character for Sarah's understanding, when you're playing with filters,
Mm-hmm.
the shadows don't change. The amount of ambient light changes, but the shadows don't really get deeper, darker, or bigger. Just everything else gets darker too.
Right. Okay.
It was more like that.
So it's more like photo editing.
Yeah, pretty much. And this person that you don't know, you did hear a female voice say something about it being I think she said it was you said blindness, right? Koya?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you said the word eye attack. I think you said blindness. I don't want to misquote you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
said the
pretty
word
sure Koi said
blindness.
blindness. Yeah.
There is
Okay.
other elements, but that's what I'm saying to these idiots right now.
Everybody seems like an
so-
idiot when you meet the party. Then you get to know them and they realize you are also an idiot.
Right, right. Okay.
We all
So,
have our moment of idiocy.
So is it something that I would be able to have any effect on, or would I not know unless I tried?
No, I'll give it to you because you understand how shadow crafting works. Because the shadows didn't change, changing the shadows, I mean, you could pull the shadows away from everything, which would change the normal ambient light if you tried, but it wouldn't necessarily attack the thing that is making everything darker because it's not a shadowed effect.
Okay, so I can't do anything.
Not really. You might be able to give people a slight bonus to see stuff, but it wouldn't be the same as canceling the effect.
I'm going to attempt
it.
to exercise the influence of this demon from the building, using
Exercise the influence. All right, cool. I want to see this work.
using my extra normal abilities, my
Your mana manipulation.
mana manipulation. Yeah. I would like to use my sorcery to
Alright.
attempt to pull the power of this demon either into me, because I'm assuming I'm going to have to make a sacrifice in some variety if I'm going to do
Okay.
this, or if I can, maybe you tell me how this would work. I still have those two things of blood, one from the Sebastian. His name was Sebastian, right?
Are you talking about that guard way back when?
The guard from in the tower.
Okay. All
I
right.
have blood from him, and I have blood from Airdrek. So potentially, maybe I could use the blood that I have already stored and corrupt that source of life energy instead of having to take it into myself. But I'm willing to do either order to try to pull
All right.
this effect.
Tarek,
Pick one.
I mean,
as
Tarek,
the target of
Erdrick has a
what you're going
vacancy
to
right now.
Shove this into, and yeah, I see what you're doing. Basically, I'm definitely gonna allow you to try. I want to see how this works. So let's see what you roll.
I mean, Erdrick has a vacancy right now. He's got a little hole in his heart where
he's
a
got
demon
space. He's got soul
No,
space.
Right in.
He said the blood of Erdrick, not literally Erdrick.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually stab Airdrek with like, hey, come here. I know I just got this out of you before, but hey,
He was wearing an "I'm an NPC" T-shirt, and therefore it's its own fault.
exactly. You should have known better. Okay, here's my roll. Woo-doo.
Nice.
Ooh.
Dang, look at you.
That's a nice
23.
roll. Look at you. Yeah. Okay. With that roll, trying to remember which one of these was which roll. Let's see. Yeah, and that. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, so with that roll, you reach out and you begin to chant in Elysian, I'm assuming.
Elysian, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
All right, so you and Airdrick know what you're saying.
Exactly.
You chant an Elysian. It is a strange. Your version is the that one.
Exactly.
So you chanted a guttural, horrific sounding language that is like nails on chalkboard combined with just like teeth grating and growling things in the dark. Is somehow woven into a language, and as you do, you somehow pull this darkness away from the ambient area into you said your whatever stored. What are you storing blood in?
Yeah, the blood. So I have the blood in vials, actual
In
like
vials. Then you pull
ampules.
it
Yeah.
into a vial. You pull the vial out and you force it with your will as you are chanting and you gesticulating. You force into this vial, and the vial turns black. But everybody can now see just fine. The cold remains. Actually, no. Based on how you did it, it would actually take out both effects. Depending on what I rolled for the cold. Let me look up. Hang on.
It's a good point, and it probably will take up both of
Nope,
my
the cold
blood.
is fine. The cold is ridiculous.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
It
All
is
right.
cold.
Oh yeah, that was the 666 roll. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, that thing is-
I can
that thing
see
is beefy.
again.
Well, now that you can see, standing there holding a trident is a 5'11" woman who's very well built, well, with hard leather armor on, where the cuirass is actually shaped like a roaring lion. The trident she's holding also has extra scroll work on the tines.
It's fancy.
She has 2 stripes going straight down on this part, and over here it goes this way on her tattoos, and every other part of her visible skin has some blue tattooing. Red-haired, and I think I said green eye for her.
I don't remember, but I'll go with that.
I'm looking around and I go, I guess Esri and Erda just left? I look at Airdrick, it's just me and you, Airdrick, and Airdrick goes blah, 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 blah.
Actually, at that
I-
point, you
I
see
hold up
a
my drink.
black elf walk out, black skin, black hair, black eyes, black. Or no, she's still wearing the city guard uniform. Actually,
So she has that blue sash and
Is
that
that what
little
it is?
white trail of face tattoos.
right? Yeah, but other than that, she's basically like a shadow almost. And she
You see a
turns and looks
silhouette.
at White Ape and goes, "You know, it doesn't do me very much good to hide in the shadows if you keep telling people I'm here."
You gotta tell me when you're gone. If I don't, you blend in so much. I don't know if you're here or not.
Well, I'm not exactly going to stick around if people are summoning demons. And I give Erda a pointed look.
I did no such thing. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't summon anything.
Everything I read was in Vallanthia. So whatever that other language you did is, that's on you.
Oh, that's just Elysian.
But that's my point.
I'm
That
looking
was
back
the-
and forth between Erda and White
So,
Ape,
Erda
and then I
is,
look over at Esri and go, "You have much more self-control than I. I would have hit them already."
I should describe my character and probably Corey's character. Corey should describe his character for you, so that since you're new to this whole party.
I like
So
the other
Erda-
idea that Tarek has described Corey's character.
Yeah.
While we're at
I'll
it, Corey's
I'll look at her and say, where I grew up, discipline is very important. They don't tolerate temper tantrums. But point taken. I'm Esri. She'll shake your hand.
Koya. You can call me Koya.
Nice to meet you.
You might have heard of me. I've gotten a little fame in the arenas.
Well, I'm not from
It's-
around here. I'm actually from down under.
No, there was somebody who wasn't there a toy that was created that didn't White Ape grab a toy of one of the gladiators that was in the arena here?
Nope.
Wasn't that a thing?
I do remember that happening.
Yeah, because we saw a bunch of people in like the gutters, and one of them had a toy about one of the gladiators, and he was like a big name gladiator, and then I think White Ape was the one who talked to him, and then he got a toy, like the actual toy.
I don't remember having a toy at all.
You don't remember having
I don't
a toy?
remember
I
this.
don't-
I wish
I
I
like
would
don't
have
know.
vaguely
taken
remember
the
this,
name
but I
out.
don't think I wrote it down. It doesn't.
I might have written it down what the name of the guy is, but I don't remember where I put it on the sheet.
The point is, if you know anything about black elves or the mushroom people, you know they live subterranean. So that's what she means by down.
That's pretty much all I know of the two.
Okay.
You're
You've
muted,
gone
Sarah.
muted.
Sarah, you're muted. Hey,
I'm
you're
sorry,
back.
but yes, yes, it would basically be, yeah, we're from, I'm from,
You went back to
Muted
muted.
again. I don't know what's going on. You keep getting muted. I swear I'm not doing this.
I'm not either.
sure you're not, sure you're not,
Corey is the host.
I am the host. I am not
Whichever
doing
way
it.
Corey is.
The Corey's doing it.
Girls don't need to
no,
talk.
I was just saying that basically I was saying that I was from down under the subterranean area, so
I'm from
I'm not
I'm
from
from
around here.
Fantasy Australia.
Sort
I've
of.
been around here for a little while, but I'm originally from Fianan land.
My people are very militaristic.
What
We
the hell is
fight a lot.
Fianan land?
I'm a
Is that like
Fianan.
Vallanthia? Is that like the land of
My
Vallanthia?
race, Fianan.
What does
What are-
Fianan
what are
mean,
they?
Howard?
Yes.
I'm one.
No, Howard. What does Fianan mean?
Fiona?
Yeah.
The word Fiona? From, are you asking, like what your character would know or what you would know?
Like
Corey?
what my character would know. I know Terran, so if
Fiona
Oh, that's a cute
might
kitty.
be.
I also have a black
I'll
cat.
let you make an intellect scholar roll
sure.
to know what a Fiona is.
75% of our cats are black because
I have-
we have 4.
I only have the
um,
one, so 100% of mine are.
I have
Ah.
cultural
Nine.
unfamiliarity.
You think you've heard the word before? Not real sure.
Okay.
I live in a very I lived in a
wonder-
very very
Jump
cloistered
up there.
environment for my entire life, except for very recently. So I still look at you completely blank faced and go, and what is that?
We are the human descendants of Danu.
You're a human?
No, I'm
To
Fian.
be fair, she looks completely human with some face tattoos.
Oh. I thought
I'm
she was
not
a
a
dwarf.
human. I'm Fian.
Right. Right.
Okay. Well,
What that means is that long ago, humans and Fae intermingled.
Oh, you're a Fae folk.
And over time,
very
the Fae
human
got
for a Fae
the Fae part got weaker as time went on, but Danu still blesses her children.
So you speak Sylph. You were the one speaking Sylph.
Trying to bring light back. Before I realized that that wasn't the right way to go.
Oh yes, Elysian is more the realm of light and dark.
More, I was trying to say the name of light and bring it out, but it wasn't darkness I was countering.
Yes, well.
Describe yourself,
Indeed.
Tarek. Tarek, describe a character.
Oh yeah. Erda is very tall, like maybe 6'5", 6'6". easily over 2 meters, and is very thin. Like for his size, he is almost rail thin. Looks malnourished almost. Very white skin, very very pale white skin, but blood red eyes that are fully like the pupil is so large, or the iris is so large, it covers so much of the real estate of his eyes that it just looks like blood-stained orbs in his head, which is the one striking weird thing about his. If everything else wasn't weird enough, he has really warm clothes on, not warrior attire, but he does have a giant, like mega giant, really nice elven craftsmanship sword on his back. And yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, and he also is putting away, as y'all are talking, he's like turning around and shoving a vial of black something into his sleeve, kind of as nonchalantly as he can, which is not very nonchalantly.
I also forgot to mention the kilt I'm wearing.
Ah, kilt, of course.
And she's a girl. It's a skirt.
It's got the full wrap. That makes it a kilt.
You're right. I'm just playing. However, in a different Scottish brogue, y'all need to stop casting your crap in here. At least give a guy a warning. And this guy is going to leave, and he's going to go tend to his other patrons.
Who are now frozen there.
As he's walking off, go, and if you can make it warm in here again, that'd be nice.
Well,
I'll
you'll
point
need to
to
start the
Erda
fire,
and go,
I think.
it's his fault, as usual.
I slap your hand. Stop pointing. People will get the wrong idea.
Well, stop summoning things.
I didn't summon anything.
Erda,
You saw like a mage fight happen.
Oh, and
two mages go,
look, Erda.
At this point, she'll look at him and I'll go, oh, I suppose you didn't summon anything at the asylum either.
No, then I did deliberately summon a
Look,
demon.
Erda.
But that was for good reason. I was exercising it, and
Erda,
it just didn't fully
So, yeah,
get to
we're
the other
basically at this
side.
point
Look.
going,
Erda, look, I care
Howard?
about you.
Barriers broke. I couldn't
let
do
Corey
anything.
speak, then I'll go to you.
Erda, I care about you. I want to make sure that everything is great and that you don't get thrown out of another place. Remember, you keep getting thrown out of places.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't want to end up in a room again, locked away in a room again.
Yes.
Especially not one without a toilet. Rather difficult to endure for a while.
yeah, we might have to lock you up for real this time.
No,
It was
Esri.
very real. I don't know where you were, but for me, it was quite real.
James, what's up?
You know what I mean.
When the bartender said, if you can do something to bring the warmth back, I look over to the fire that's going in the fireplace and use naming to call the warmth back out into the room from it.
Ooh, handy.
All right. There is a fire in the fireplace, and it was never actually affected. So you can just have it increase in its temperature. Sure, absolutely, as long as you make your roll. With that, as you cast at the fireplace, the flames kind of billow a bit and look larger. And there is a slight increase in the temperature of the room, but it is still cold in the room.
Yeah,
Well,
considering
while
was
it roars
freezing.
higher, it will increase the warmth. So that's good enough.
So
It is still cold ass in this room.
my beer's cold. That's good.
That is nice, right?
Like you bring up your mug of beer and just like a nice
And I
cube
look back
Malfrost.
over.
hits your
Thanks.
face.
I mean, technically, beer back in like the mid ages was not necessarily the same as we have today. So, cold version of that might be like really thick and disgusting.
Maybe, or it might be great and they didn't know.
Yeah, it's true. That's fair.
Well, monks wrote about chilling their beers before drinking them
Yes,
in
but
the
they-
margins.
That
So
was
they did know.
they did, but that was specifically monks who had been brewers for some time.
Yes.
So
These-
they weren't necessarily.
So
just
you may have
creating-
just discovered cold beer.
exactly that
Now, I turn, I look at
Clever.
Erda and White Ape, and I go, one of you two idiots owes me a drink now.
I don't have any money. I paid for the thing earlier.
And I look
Why
at
do
White Ape
I
and go,
owe you anything? I didn't do anything.
You
one
know
of you
what?
caused this problem. You're with them. You didn't stop them.
I
The
I
bald man
pointed
seat at the
you-
table looks at Erda and,
No, no, no,
and
no.
hisses at him,
I
saying,
point at White Ape.
"Who
and
is this
go-
woman?"
I don't
I point at White
honestly
Ape and
know.
go, I bought you a knife. You can buy her a drink.
You did not buy me a knife. I stole that knife.
I paid for it. Buy her a damn drink.
I'll steal you a drink.
You just announced that not 5 feet from the proprietor. You are an idiot.
Actually,
No,
that's
he's
about.
much more than
I
5 feet
told
away.
you.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna say, actually, that's about 27
I pick
feet
up
if I'm going to
I
be
pick up
exact. but
Ezri's
that is
drink
being a
from
bit
her
pedantic.
vacant seat, and I hand it up to you.
Nobody owes anybody anything here.
What was that?
And I hand you a
Corey?
drink.
Kind of buzzed.
I hand Koya a drink.
Takes it and just slams the whole thing back.
There you go.
I've never seen a Fae drink like that. Well, that's to say that I've never seen a Fae. Well,
By the way,
we're all kind of Fae.
I should tell you that the hand I grabbed the drink from is made of stone. I have a stone arm. My character is like less than a meter tall, has very big childlike eyes.
less than 2 meters tall, not less than 1 meter
Less
tall.
than 2 meters tall, less than 2 meters.
Yeah.
1
less
meter
than
would be
1
under
meter.
3'3".
Yeah,
Yeah.
1 1/4 to 1 and yeah, less than 2 meters tall. Yeah, I'm about 1 1/4 meters tall. That's what I am. I'm 1 1/4 meters tall. I have really big eyes. I have like ram's horns that sweep backwards over my head. And I have one arm that's like a human arm and one arm that's totally made of stone. And I have elf ears.
All right. Now I've explained what I am. How about you explain what you all are? Because
I'm an elf.
while
What?
I have
that obvious?
vaguely heard of that, pointing to the mushroom man,
Oh, yes,
as
my
you
feet.
say that, he goes, and very slowly, I am my Saiyan. And he looks very pleased that he's explained it perfectly.
You
That's
know, like
tone.
I am Groot.
That is so.
All right.
That is like perfectly what Matt would have done too.
That's Tom.
I am my
He's-
Saiyan.
That's Tom.
Obvious.
He's excellent. My name is the Winterborn Chthonian, White Ape of the Spring, son of the fallen matron with the summer kiss skin.
You see,
And
as
what are you?
Bree rolling her eyes as he goes on and on with his name.
and what are you?
I have elf ears. Do you not know
You
what an
also
elf
have
is?
horns. And that,
Oh, he's-
tap your stone arm.
What's the special name for you? Your race?
Sylvanar.
Sylvanar?
Yeah, I'm a Sylvanar.
I thought it was a folk. I thought all of them were with folk at the end.
I could yes.
There is
Sylphanar.
more than one race of elf, guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If-
My race of elf is Huldafolk, and I thought each one of y'all had another one that was like.
They call they say that I'm a forest folk elf or a wild elf. I mean, I have lots of names.
Sylvanar is the correct word. Just,
Sylvanar.
I think you said
Okay.
it right.
I
You
did.
say
Yeah, that was the
Sylvanar.
first thing
he
I said.
Sylvanar.
Everybody
I
looked
just
at me
didn't know
weird.
if that was right or not. But
Yeah, it's
if it is,
correct.
then yeah, that's what I would refer
I
to
really
him as.
believe
I go,
actually that your scholarly character would know Sylvanar.
exactly.
Look,
That's why I was like,
It's
he would
Sylvanar.
use those specific names
That's
rather
what I said.
than
I said
the
I am
common names.
Sylvanar, and you're like you're a
Yeah.
folk, and I'm like yeah. Well, we're forest folk. We're wild elves. I have
Well, no,
lots of names.
because-
Winterborn
I just kinda nod,
Chthonian,
look
White
over
Ape
at
of the
Ezri and
Spring,
go,
son of the fallen matron with the summer kiss skin. I have a
Common
ton of
name, dark
names. Do you need some names more?
Do you call her a dark
somehow-
elf or a black elf? Just out of curiosity.
I said
she might have a
common-
reaction if you call her a dark elf. It's
I-
a different
I-
thing.
I said common name,
You would
but I
say
said it with a
black elf, and I would
questioning
say
sound.
you would say black elf, and I would say some call us that. That's fine. I'm not offended by it.
Is there a better name for you?
Remind me out of character, Howard, because I don't remember.
Svartalfar.
What is it?
Svartalfar.
Voltifar.
We
Svartalfar.
we call ourselves Svartalfar.
I'm
and-
always interested in learning the names of things.
Yes, I am
I
Urda.
appreciate that.
Urda Shalathmi. And I'll offer you my hand, which is very delicate and very scarred up.
Her
Wait,
hands are very calloused
wait. Why do you want
and
to know
is a
the?
very hearty shake. Though she doesn't go for any crushing grips or anything like that.
Yeah, he does not have a hearty grip, apparently, or he's just not really
Wait.
used to shaking hands and is kind of surprised that you actually took his hand.
Koya,
You're not sure.
hold on. You're very interested in names, and we just had a thing with names just happening. Are names like a thing? Do you know something about names?
I do practice the namer ways.
What's that?
It is a path of magic.
So there's a path of magic specifically about names. Can anybody practice this magic? Like Urda?
If you're already on one path, you cannot change that path.
Then how did we?
Exactly.
Then how did that happen?
How did
don't-
what happen?
I know how it happened, but I don't want to say how it happened.
You know that, White Ape. We're all magic users. We all know we can only practice one path at a time.
But something happened that was outside of that. Maybe it was the book. Maybe the magic's in the book.
I believe, indeed, that that there is not only magic in this book, but that the intended recipients of this book were to utilize such magic to corrupt themselves, to put themselves into service for a greater master, and that master's name shall
Don't.
not be repeated.
Sorflam.
I was waiting for it.
So
Sorflam.
shall
I
we
was
just
about
call
to say
him
it
he-
too. And then I was
Shall,
like, okay.
shall we
'Cause
just
he
call
would've-
him he who shall not be named or
Sorflam.
something?
No,
Sorflam
that
is
is-
his name.
Far too much words.
Yeah, Sorflam. Just say Sorflam. We'll know what we mean.
I don't.
But what this tells me is that this demon that we are dealing with is
Nope, you.
quite cunning.
Okay,
you.
Sarah, we can't have
No,
identical
no.
cats because I'm reaching here waiting for my cat to jump up here. And I looked up and my cat was behind you.
Have you seen that video?
Hey, I could add extra confusion by getting my cat.
Have
since
you
he's
seen that?
also a black one.
He's jealous because I'm paying attention to you guys and not him.
Howard, have you seen that video where the woman's like, so I go outside and I see my cat, so I bring him inside, and if that's my cat, who the fuck is this? There's another identical cat like next.
I
have
saw
not seen
a
that.
Facebook post of that where the guy was like, I found my cat and I brought him home, and then 2 months later I found my cat and now I have identical cat.
And then there's the story of the lady who kept going and adopting the exact same looking cat from the shelter because her husband said, no more cats. But she figured as long as she got one that looked the same, he wouldn't be able to tell how many there were. And,
It's freaking brilliant. I love it.
and it worked. She got all the way up to 13 of them.
And how many did he think they had? Because surely some of them sat next to each other at times.
Apparently
He
it was
thought
just
there were
one.
like maybe 5.
Like they had a mutant
Well,
power
then I want to
to
be
like.
friends with her.
Okay, so explain it to me. What's going on? Because I have no idea. And if you need to use the name, say Sorflam.
The demon
Yes.
scribed these books
Right.
and enchanted them with essence
Right.
that allows those who read it, regardless of their ability to understand magic, they can gain the powers of.
Swordflam.
It was a strange sort of necromancy, but familiar as
Necromancy?
that
You
is
guys are getting caught
held
up in
within this book.
necromancy.
And this book, if it is distributed widely enough, would bring people under his corruption and then be used as a kind of cult, similar to the one that we just defeated, to provide a vessel, perhaps,
So are
for
you
his
saying,
earthly manifestation?
you're saying that Sorflam is the author of this book, and that Sorflam is here in the city?
I imagine that his influence is here, but I don't know if he is earthly, bound earthly to the earthly realm yet. Though I imagine that is part of his desire.
Name magic woman.
So that book is written so that people become bond mages,
Not.
bound to that demon. And you guys are mixed up in necromancy?
No.
There is an eldritch. There's
I'm
a
not
form
saying
of
you're
eldritch
practicers.
manipulations that could potentially
we are
lead to.
You know,
we're working with the
after
Azure
being
Order.
an idiot at the moment of meeting me, speaking high and mighty like that isn't going to change my opinion of you.
Look,
At
we're
this
working,
point, the bald guy leans forward into Erda's ear and whispers, "Who is this annoying woman, and will she go away?"
Hey, Howard.
She seems
Hey,
to be
Howard.
quite
Yes.
I would like to make a roll.
To do what?
I would like to make a proselytizing roll. Because the seems like an apropos conversation.
Oh, okay, sure, cool. Go ahead.
Part of my training as a reader, as a namer, is actually to unname necromancy.
Tarek.
So let me see how this roll goes, and then we'll see what I have to
Tarek,
say.
I'm surprised
Whether
you
it's
actually started
convincing or it
describing
just sounds really weird.
who Koya was instead of just telling him that he's the bartender's mistress.
Eventually, this gladiator is going to want to whoop your ass. You keep that up.
Urda doesn't usually antagonize people.
Oh, she
And
won't
if he
know.
does so, it's totally incidental.
She doesn't know Reptile. She doesn't-
That's true. That is true.
Oh yeah, for the record, the bald guy only speaks Reptile. In case you didn't already catch that. Well, and Elysian, but either way, you're not you're not in on that one. All right, so Esri, that is a good strong roll.
Okay.
Go ahead, but you have to
So-
role play proselytizing. So
Yeah,
feel
I
free
am-
to tell
I am-
people what you want to tell them. Just
Okay.
know that whatever she says, it comes across very well. She rolled it first.
Well spoken. Yeah, I just wanted to know if I was going to bomb it or not before I role played it. You know, there's something to be said for being bound to demons or the Fae, as I nod to you, Koya. Sometimes they have the things to offer magic users if one approaches things the right way. Have you ever thought about those things?
Is anyone watching Urda?
Goya just kind of quirks an eyebrow.
Not just commonly, but like intently. If somebody is intently watching,
We're watching
Urda,
the
I'll mention
proselytizing woman because she demands respect by proselytizing, of course.
Right. So Erdrek, being the person who's probably the only person like inspecting Urda because he's trying to, I'm the communication barrier.
You guys have
he
never
notices
heard
that
her bring this shit up before.
when she says
No,
all
we
this
haven't.
stuff,
I'm very
She's
curious.
suddenly very eloquent about it.
his eyes open up very widely and then stare into her direction like, oh shit, she knows.
Goya just quirks an eyebrow and goes, the very two beings you named are probably the worst ones to try that with.
I suppose it does depend on your patron, but I'm just saying it doesn't hurt to keep an open mind to other forces and beings out there. Wouldn't you agree?
I give respect to Danu every day.
I am a scholar of magic.
And my sister is a bound mage. Her patron is a unicorn.
That's very interesting.
What kind of magic do
Exactly.
unicorns
More
give?
about that.
I thought that was fairy tale.
What kind of
They
magic?
are
Do,
rare, but I actually got to meet this one.
what kind of magic do unicorns give?
Healing,
Sparkling.
purifying,
Fart
but
rainbows.
the requirement is that my sister must remain chaste for the rest of her life.
The ability to fart glitter.
Well, everything has its price, doesn't it? But I'm sure your sister would agree that some things are worth paying the price for.
When Esri says everything requires a sacrifice, sweat bubble.
I say,
He knows.
I say,
Considering both Erda and Esri are in field of vision for Koya, she keeps kind of glancing over at Erda with these over-the-top reactions, like, I
Well, no,
don't
like I said,
know.
they're not super over the top. It's just like if you're paying attention to what Erda's doing, like if you're staring at his face, it's gonna be more obvious than if you're just like in the conversation. You know what I mean?
I say,
As-
Which
Esri
means
kind
that
of-
she's just occasionally glancing over because you are reacting, but
Esri kind of
she
reminds
doesn't know
you
how
of
to
one
interpret those reactions.
Ezra reminds you of one of those people who comes to your door to share the good news with you because she's so happy about it. And she just wants you to know the good things that are out there for you too if you just open up your mind and listen.
I've had a few Mormons come around, but the Jehovah's Witnesses have me on a blacklist.
So
Yes,
Erda goes.
well, unfortunately, what we're talking about is a bit darker than
Look,
that.
Yeah, so
Look,
Erda,
everything
Erda
has a
goes.
price.
idea.
you're right. Everything has a price. And I had to dip my arm into molten lava to get this rock hand.
You said that you got that after you learned the earth and magic ways.
Look, it doesn't
please,
matter
White Ape,
what the
you brag about
sacrifice
that
was.
thing
It was
every
really
chance you
cool.
get. You brag about that arm every chance you get.
No, I
Enough
don't.
It's a
already.
cool
I
arm.
barely bring it up.
Well, you do raise it quite often.
It's a really
Yes,
cool
and
arm.
the price
I'm really
of the
proud
price
of
I
it.
walk is I must learn names.
Look, I am a magical theorist, if you will, a scholar of the eldritch manifestations and manipulations of mana alike,
He
and
has a pointy hat somewhere.
Erda,
And his offices at wherever his university is has a stuffed alligator in the ceiling.
Yeah,
and
I'm
a
actually
tall
not-
earthly candle.
I'm actually not allowed to go back to my
Erda, can I talk
My
to you for a
official
second?
college.
Can you come over here? I need to talk to you by the fire.
Oh yes, of course. It's warmer there, and I agree. That is the more optimal place to stand.
Hey
in this
guys, I'll be right
building.
back.
Let's go.
Hey Erda, man. You know I got a really long weird name.
Yeah.
My mother's like really smart, and she knows about these kind of name magic people.
I'll just, while they're having that conversation, I'll kind of whisper to
So you-
Koya and
Did you?
and say, "That's very fascinating about your sister's patron. Perhaps you'd like to hear more about mine
Like,
sometime."
I hope that this Koya
Learning
person
names
doesn't
of things
manipulate
is
you with
always
her
a
name
good
magic.
thing. Don't expect me to necessarily turn from Danu to whoever it is you're with.
Let Corey speak real quick.
Yeah, I love all the roleplay you guys are doing, but unfortunately, the way the system works, if one
Sorry,
person is
sorry,
talking,
yeah.
somebody else gets muted.
Yes.
So you
Sorry.
can, after they finish their conversation, say, while they were saying that, I was saying this.
Yes.
Fair.
So
In that case, I'm getting a drink.
Erda, yeah, my mother knows about lots of different things. I didn't even think about this at the time. I just don't but she's really smart. And I have this big title I think to protect myself against people like her.
Should you have not told her your entire title?
No. My title is supposed to protect me
that's
from that.
why.
Yeah.
It's encrypt. Genius.
My
That is
mother's
genius.
a smart person, let me tell you. But you might be in trouble. I hope this woman... You should be nice to her.
Did I tell her my full name?
I don't know. I don't know if it needs to be the full name or what the rules exactly are. But, be careful.
Well,
I'm just
I'm
trying
glad
to
you
warn
brought
you.
this up. I had no idea.
Yeah. So, well, we should get back there. They seem to be talking about something.
I wonder if it could be affected by the...
You know, it's funny. Ezri hasn't told anybody in the party her full name.
Neither has
She
Koya.
told them his first name.
Oh, no, I definitely told White Ape my full name.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
I don't think Tom even knows my last name.
Yeah, Urda's a very trusting and naive person.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm a soldier. I don't trust nobody.
Yeah, I grew up in a giant, secluded and literally invisible to the outside world, like, monastery slash library, so, kind of sheltered.
If you guys are ever like sitting around the fire one night and talking about your childhoods, Esri will tell you that she grew up in a military area where everybody fought from the time they were children against monsters who wanted to kill us all. So basically, she had no childhood. And she's paranoid as fuck.
We played jump rope with monster guts.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good
They're a
time.
hardcore society, man.
Really, I
Hardcore.
really miss being there. It was so fun. We made fun out of anything, really.
Yeah.
Guts, monster heads.
Okay, you two.
Monster head plays.
You
Here
can,
we go round the gory guts, the gory guts, the gory
Yeah,
guts.
you know
Here
what?
we go
You
round
guys
the
are
gory
lucky.
guts.
You guys are lucky those black elves are there. Otherwise, that stuff might come upstairs and eat you guys.
All right, Ezri and Koya, you can have that conversation now. We did our conversation. We're gonna come back.
Okay. But yeah, basically, I would just say, oh no, of course not. I would never expect you to turn away from your patron. But I also find it interesting to learn about others and their patrons.
There's also such things instead of patrons as being faith and religions, which is what it is with Danu.
Ah, interesting. Yes, there are many creatures where I'm from, and it's forbidden to interact with them. It's part of the reason I can never go home again.
Hmm.
But here I am now with all of you. And we have had much interesting adventures since we've come to this town. Although
Since
I
I've
don't
come to this
believe
town,
we-
not much has happened for me. I've been in a few gladiatorial fights, met a few fans, and now this.
Although I don't believe we've been paid for any of our work yet.
Oh,
Hitter?
Well, the things at the asylum did go a bit,
Sideways once you summoned a demon? Yeah,
I like
yeah.
pear-shaped.
We weren't too
Again,
happy about that.
it wasn't
Pear-shaped is a much
entirely
better
my
adjective.
fault. What else was I supposed to do but free this young man from the torment of being bound to a demon? Any good person would have done
I
so.
Don't know. Maybe
And maybe
not
perhaps
free the
let's
demon?
not bring up the fact that I am summoning, that I was not summoning. I was never summoning a demon. I was
You
exorcising
freed
a
the
demon.
demon.
I exorcised it. I just happened to know that there were runes that were specifically in place to help bind the demon in place, and that if I
Couldn't
was
you
going to
put it
free
in a
Airdrek,
goat or something instead of letting it loose to kill us all.
look. First off, it's not just a goat. He has a name. Rudel.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Respect.
didn't
Second
mean
off, I would
his
never,
goat.
never even dream of bringing corruption on that level into Rudel's little, pure little
I
heart.
did not mean Rudel. I meant a random goat that nobody cares
Where was
about.
I gonna get a random goat? There was a demon on the loose.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure the chef could.
From what
provide
she
you with
just said and
something.
you just said, it wouldn't have been on the loose if you hadn't done something.
Listen. I removed the demon from existence once we got things under control, okay? It is gone.
I thought that was Airdrek who did that.
No, that was Kyle
That
Ellis.
was
but
Eric
still.
who did that.
No, that
No.
was Kyle Ellis.
It was not Kyle Ellis. I was there. The demon was exorcised by Airdrek, and then everybody became big and giant and tried to kill me. So I ran away
Flappy.
a lot.
For the record,
Yeah.
it was the mist that Valrakar summoned that was making people big and weird and scary or running away in terror. And
Yeah.
Kyle
And-
Ellis mostly did nothing but help, really.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
Kyle
That's
Ellis
why
is
I was
cool.
giving Kyle
To my
Ellis
memory,
credit.
as the
Because
game
technically, I was the one making the role, and Kyle Ellis, or not Kyle Ellis, Airdrek helped to banish the demon once we got it.
Do you guys think
amplified.
that Kyle
Yes.
Ellis
Correct.
can
Yeah.
find Sorflack?
For those at home, this means I'm not speaking as a character in the game.
Yeah.
Sorflack.
Oh yes.
Do you
Sometimes we
think Kyle
forget that
Ellis?
People don't always know LARP signals. Sorry.
Can you think? You think Kyle Ellis has the information on Sorflam and can tell us what this guy is and what he can do?
I not only do I believe that he might have information on Sorflam, but I believe that if we do some research, we might be able to track down where Sorflam might be developing his cult or cultivating the individuals who were giving those necromantic tomes. But we'd need to investigate on the hurry.
You
don't
said the
have much
name is in
time.
this book?
Excuse me,
What about
Koya.
the other jobs? That
You
we were
said that you had
thinking of?
the skill of a you called it a reader,
Namer.
namer.
We'll find Demon House Publishing Company.
Oh, Seely, am I familiar with the type of magic that she's referring to?
Actually, yeah. As a wizard and a scholar of the different types of magics, you are well aware of at the very least, of the names of the different traditions of magic. And naming is a huge one in the arcane branch of magic, which was developed, as far as you know, by dragons.
I go, perhaps your lineage is not only from the Fae, but also from a draconic line as well. Listen, someone of your skill may be quite useful to us in our endeavors, but it may require you to not risk your livelihood in such a barbaric brawling situation, but rather risk your livelihood fighting against that which would corrupt all of Vallanthia. What say you, Koya?
I'm game. Right now, the fight manager's pissed at me.
Well, in that case, I hate to inform you that this is not currently a paying gig, but hopefully in the future
The
we will be
Alisher
able to
Order said they were
afford
gonna pay
many
us.
things.
Stop
You
trying to
said-
murder each other. Sorry.
You said the name of this demon that caused the effect is in that book.
It's
Well,
May I read it?
don't say it out loud.
well, not exactly. The name. There are specific runes within the book that hint to a style of magic that is used by certain demons. When taken into context with the change in writing from Vallanthian to Elysian, I was able to deduce that only a fraction of a subset of individuals would be able to encode such a message within these texts, and those who
Erda, this
could,
is so boring.
the most powerful of which would be demons of great import, those that would be of relevant
I'm
of
just
instant
asking
relevance
you
would
to
be
point to the name in the book.
Erda.
Oh, well, you see, that's my point. The name itself isn't written. It is implied. And between these
Yet you've
paragraphs, as I
said it out
open the book,
loud here.
I open the book, and it will take me like literally maybe 10 minutes, 10 solid minutes
Erda,
to not only explain but relocate, because I can't speak Vallantian, where the reference was. And then once I recognize the Elysian, I will finally point to the page, point to paragraphs, and thoroughly and pedantically explain exactly how I deduced the name. And then I'll notice at the end, I'll realize at the end and go, oh, wait, that and this. I push to the back and say, it was also signed by the creator, and the creator's name is... well, I won't say it out loud.
The book is actually written, it's a very fancy cursive. It looks like it says W and then an A, very, very fancy, and then L and then a T, then a D, and then an I and an S, and N, and E. And it looks like a P at the end. It's Walt Disney. If you've never seen his signature, I'm right. It looks like that.
Quick question.
I failed in chat on the game, so I'm just going to say it. Koya, you can't read.
I know.
Okay.
I just was hoping that if he could point to the name.
Oh yeah, you can totally play it off.
Shit,
you can try to play it off. No problems with that.
To it.
I was trying to discreetly tell you and totally failed. But yeah, your character, while human, basically, you were raised in a culture that speaks Sylvan primarily and reads Sylvan.
So
the only person in the group who reads Vallanthia is me.
Yeah, yep. So I will painstakingly and as pedantically as possible walk you through the explanation and my thought process, literally just to delay enough time for me to not look as stupid for not remembering what page all the references were on or whatever. And then once I stumble onto them, you'll quickly realize that the name, because I had to make a roll to deduce all of this stuff together through my scholarship. So I'm going to point out all the references that I used to come up with the information, and then show you, like, in this weird language, this weird, like, runic language, the name that I came up with. And, like, I'll spell it out for you in a sense, but I'm not going to say it.
So, guys, does this mean that we've abandoned the paying gig we were going to take on?
So, unless somebody, like, forcefully interjects and is able to break his, like, scientific breakdown of this, it's gonna take a while.
White Ape?
Howard, once he gets around to finally pointing to the name and I can actually see which letters, even if I can't read it through reading
you will not
language,
be able to read it because that name that he actually can read is in Elysian.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to use my namer ability of read to get it to translate a name for me.
All right, cool. Go ahead and make that roll.
Or a word? You mean like capture the
basically
word?
Is commanding the concept of the word on the paper to tell him what it says.
Yeah.
Which would take a really long time to read a book.
Yeah, that's
Casting
true.
each word. What are you? All right, next.
But at that point, I do gain a lot more power because now I have the name of each of these words in that language.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
I feel like the power of the word "the"
However,
is going to be very...
With that roll, as you command it to come forth and explain, you hear something that sounds a lot like, was it flim flam? What are y'all saying?
Sorflam.
Mixoplick.
Oh,
Sorflam.
Sorflam.
Sorflam, yeah, Sorflam.
Yeah, you get something like Sorflam. You feel like it. You're not sure if you got it quite right. It's like when like someone is talking to you, but they're doing it like through the wall, and they're like, "Hey, I need you to pick up a finger for me," and you're like, "A what?" And he's like, "I said a finger for you." A what?
All right.
Give
Could you write?
me a finger for me.
Could you write it in Sylph?
No. No.
I don't think that invoking such a thing, even in writing, would be
if I know the name, which I currently do not, I will be able to do things to counter it.
We can I can tell you the opposite of his name.
Can you write it? That way it is not said?
If we do anything like that, it will get darker in here, I think.
It will.
Is it multiple syllables?
Yes.
Yes.
2.
Write down 1 syllable.
It's a movie. It's
Write down the first syllable. And then tear that page in half. Then write the second
Before
syllable.
we do anything of the sort, I suggest we go and speak with the lead demonologist in the region.
Yes.
With his
That's a
assistance,
good idea.
I'm sure that we can break through the mystery of who is distributing all of these tomes.
You
And
don't
if we
wanna
can do
be-
that.
You don't
we
want to
will
I
be.
cannot easily affect the effect
You don't
Koya.
need to
caused
right now.
Koya, you don't want to
without
be.
the name.
You don't want to be malinformed, do you? That would be bad. It would give you a frosty shoulder. Yes. And I have. There you go. There. Now let's go see. Let's go see the guy.
Okay, do I need to roll an acumen or intelligence to catch that?
Streetwise actually be great. It's acumen. If you have streetwise, you can use that skill. Otherwise, it'd be straight acumen to catch whatever the heck he's hinting at.
I got an 8.
You don't know what the heck this elf is talking about.
I'm weird.
Look, he has a weird name too, so don't blame him too hard.
I get out the door and start prepping my mount.
Yeah, I'll grab my
You have
bag of stuff.
If you have 2 scraps of paper, write the first syllable on one. I'll look at it. I'll throw it in the fire. Then you write the second
you can
one.
do. I'll make you a deal. You can do all of that. We can do all of that once we are in a place safe enough to do so. Here is not
That
the place.
seems fair.
All right, that is fair. After all, once you invoke somebody's name, they tend to have a greater
Precisely,
access
and
to
it's
the
already
place.
occurred 3 times, so I would probably, I should probably not
Free?
continue to do so. Well, it is freezing in here for a reason, and we should really be on our way. I grab my bag and start huffing out like I was just insulted.
Look over at
All
the
right.
dwarf as I'm heading out with them and going, "You need an exorcist."
I am an exorcist.
No,
Since
you're a
I've
scholar.
asked this like 3 times and not gotten a response, I assume we're ditching our paying gig.
This is a paying gig as long as we can get to the end of it.
What paying gig? We had another paying gig?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought we
you
only
had
had
to
the one.
pay-
You
for
to
catching
pick
a
from, and we
certain
picked
black
the one
elf.
you didn't want to do, and you rubbed that in our faces.
The other one is like dead. It's a dead quest. It was like a week ago.
But we could
mean,
go to the
Alright.
guild.
That guy might still be robbing people. You don't know.
We could still go back to the guild and try to ask for our
Doesn't
jobs
seem-
back,
it
but
doesn't
I
seem
feel
like
like
he's
we're on a
been
much
caught.
better.
It's
Look,
like
we're on-
Skyrim. You can come back to a quest at any time. They're
Yeah,
like,
it's still
need to
just
be
the
at the
same.
Greystone at midnight, and you're like, midnight, sure, but
not?
you didn't say which day. So
Exactly. You
every
didn't say I
midnight
couldn't come
counts.
meet you at midnight
Why
in
not?
7 months.
Yeah.
Come on. I had to become the Dragonborn. Whatever. He goes, look, I believe that it is in our destiny to go on much more important, go on to deal with much more important matters than a simple robbery. We are cleansing the corruption that reared its head into the middle of society here in Vallanthia. And we might be able to find Huber Valanth if he is still alive. We probably should have done that while we were looking for Drek. I'm sure he'll be fine. Cut to Huber Valanth, like naked and running through the streets. Why does everybody want to see?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, no problem
He's
at
like-
all.
Look at my elegant clothes!
And all he's wearing is a little golden crown about this big
There's a
down
cock ring?
here.
Yeah. As a gauntlet? Is that what you said?
I said
No, as a cock ring.
Oh, as a cock ring.
That's far worse.
I was like, that is not fit to be a gauntlet. That's like
It is fit to be a king.
it is.
He's got
No,
like a
it
bunch of
resents
rats
it, I
like all around him that he's feeding with some crackers, and he's like, "Yes, yes, my loyal subjects, we will retake the throne. We will."
He's just leading a rat army now.
Hey, I saw
King of the
Suicide
Rats.
Squad. Don't knock that.
Vallanthia.
He's like making little armor pieces for the rats and little like rat
So I
swords.
like the idea that he's the Rat King. That's the new plot. I'm putting that in.
Yeah, I was imagining for some reason. I don't know if any of y'all watch Scrubs, but the janitor from Scrubs had like a squirrel army that he had taxidermied in his shed, and they would cut to him doing that. Like every once in a while, we would hold meetings with the fucking squirrels, and that's what I imagined. It just cut scene to Huber Valanth, which is like an old man with a bunch of rats in front of him. He's like, "Okay, we're holding the next meeting."
Koya,
See, for me,
you
the
will
Rat
notice-
King is from the '80s Ninja Turtles, but yours sounds fun too. I only
Yeah,
saw
it
like a few episodes of Scrubs. It'd be like one episode out of one season here, and then another one have another season. I don't know.
The janitor was
whole
just one of the
story.
best characters on that show.
So Koya would notice
And
that
90% of his lines were not scripted.
Yeah, because that dude's just that good.
They just put in, guy says something funny, says something profound, and then let him go with whatever.
He goes.
And usually they went with whatever his first take was.
He's just fucking hilarious.
So
That
James,
guy is
Koya
amazing.
would notice that I am prepping a giant goat that I am going to ride to our next location.
And Erda, as soon as he walked out of the building, all in a huff, walked straight over to Rudel and was petting with his head, like playing with him.
Erda, did you tell Erdrick what we're doing? Because he doesn't know.
Yes, indeed.
Eric will be following Erda because that's where information comes from for the most part.
Make sure Erdrick knows what's going on.
Oh, of course. Yes. Good point.
He's awesome.
I look over to Erdrick and I start explaining to him the idea that I accidentally invoked the name of the demon, but now we know what the name is, and so we're gonna go to somebody who's an expert in the field who might be able to help us isolate the name.
As you say that to him, you can almost see the light bulbs going off over his head as he just seems to suddenly realize something, go, ah. And then in Reptile, of course, he responds only to you. Everybody else hears this horrible hissing language as he says,
You're an idiot.
that explains what he was responding to all the times that, oh, I shouldn't say his name. He's back in hell. F you, Valrakar!
Erda, so what you'll see, I want to explain this real quick, is us hissing at each other, and then he says some really serious, loud hissing that sounds really angry and like, exclamation, and then Erda just starts laughing, like hardcore laughing. And then he starts saying this, like repeating what he's saying, but like screaming himself through the laugh.
So whenever that dies down, he will explain to you that it makes total sense. What he thinks was happening is anytime someone would say the name of Valrukar, that because there were times in his head when the other, which was Valrukar in his head, would suddenly like take attention and start having a one-sided conversation that made no sense. Or he would go, really? And he would just start going, oh, are you now? Oh, I will come for you. But then he couldn't do anything because he was trapped inside of, Airdrek the whole time. But there were times that he had conversations that were one side, and there were times when he made a bunch of unnecessary threats at nothing, and he just assumed demons were mad. But now that you've told him this, it's like everything came together, and he went, ah!
That's
So he's not that the demon was mad, although that could still be the case, but...
Yeah, he probably had a reason that was driving him mad. That part makes sense, yeah.
All right, so that has been imparted.
So yeah, I'll have this whole conversation with Airdrek and then be like, oh yeah, that makes a lot more sense now. That totally, I can't imagine what that experience must have been like, and like trying to empathize with him and communicate in this horrible language
For
in like a really
years.
fluently way. Yeah, exactly. Until somebody, I imagine White Ape at some point goes, hey, we're gonna go now, and then oh okay, yeah, let's go.
James, I say, this is my pet. This is Ruby. This is, my eyes get really like. This is Ruby. Let go.
Well done. You know what? Take a character point, White Ape. That was great.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I give those out pretty sparingly for the record.
By the way, this is Airdrek. This guy only speaks in Reptile. I don't know why.
He is human.
But he is a really awesome person, and I really like him. So, like, respect.
I would consider him a friend. I've communicated with him for some time. At least what felt like years. Erda says, and then like 15-mile stare up in the distance.
By Erda's math, Airdrek is immortal.
Exactly. Oh right. We'll need to find out where exactly Ka Ellis is staying, but he did mention that he had a place, I believe near the palace.
In the palace. Let's go. Let's go find the guy that the Azure Order says is a thief.
And a heretic, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, we don't like the Azure Order anyway, so who cares?
Well,
They're a bunch of dicks.
as long as they're
We didn't
paying
pay
me,
it.
like, we need to get the money out of them. But
They
yeah,
are
I'm not
technically
taking.
tasking us with this whole endeavor, but I agree. They do not seem to be the sole arbiter of what is just in the city.
And they didn't
And
pay
did-
us.
Well, yet. We haven't finished the job. We still have to find who exactly is distributing these materials.
We did what they told us to do, which apparently counted for nothing. Just the same.
Well, I mean, we did do a little bit more than we were asked, and
It's a
the
very
appreciation
poor.
seemed to not be there, but then again, they did lose a lot of men on that day. So I can
It's a
kind of see
very
their
poorly
perspective.
run military organization. You would never get away with that where I come from.
Well, I do not come from that place, so I am at your behest with
Excuse me.
such
Must mute.
disciplinarianism.
He's
Well,
yelling at cats.
well, I think we should be headed toward the palace. However, do be aware it may be difficult for us in our current states. As I look around, as everybody's stuff is kind of
We'll be fine.
Not great.
We'll tell them we're here for
Getting
Ka
into the-
Ellis, that he knows us, and we, right,
Get up there.
sure.
right.
I'm sure they'll have space for a goat.
And we're
in the
here
castle.
with the great gladiator Koya.
True. She has a reputation in town.
Because when
that
you go to the
isn't run
library,
through
you
the
bring a
mud.
gladiator.
Yeah.
That's why he was called Conan the Librarian.
I go.
I
"This is a
before
spectacular
E,
idea.
except
At
after
least her
C."
reputation hasn't been dragged through the mud yet.
Though if you keep opening your mouth,
I don't know what you mean.
What is best in life? The Dewey
Perhaps I'm a
Decimal
bit
System.
eccentric, but I speak what I mean, and I mean what I speak.
no, you obfuscate and pretend to greater knowledge by using extra words, far and above beyond the actual parsimony of normal folk.
I disagree. I think I speak quite plainly.
I feel like they're going to have a nerd off.
Erda, I love you like a brother, but I don't know what you're saying half the time.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
because he's not saying anything.
I'm saying
Good
quite a
God.
many things.
Nothing of substance.
That is
That
just
was
not
what
a,
I was about to
that
say.
is just not true at all. Those with ears that do not wish to hear will hear nothing.
I hope we're on our way as we're talking.
Yeah, of
And
course.
those that with
I am
nothing
fine with
to
that if
say
that's what
yet
you're
flap
doing.
their lips excessively.
My lips will flap as much as I need to explain what concepts need to be explained. How else will the unenlightened become enlightened?
I'm gonna grab a beer. I'll be back.
Erda, can I talk to you like
If you need to use extra
hop
words
on the
to
back.
enlighten people, you don't truly understand the subject.
Can you hop on the
Well,
back?
I would transmit my information through memories and stored information inside of mana stones, but unfortunately I was kicked out of my repository before learning that information.
Erda, can you hop on the back of Ruby here and
I can ride Roodle?
just get on the back. I need to talk to you.
Okay. I enthusiastically but uncoordinatedly try to mount your donkey.
And you are so tall that you're kind of just walking splayed leg over it.
Yeah, it looks
Hands
very,
on White Ape's shoulders and just walking along over
Very-
the goat.
looks
just-
very weird.
Come over here. Just come over here.
Okay.
Hey, Erda, you talked earlier about a greater destiny with this necromancer stuff.
Yes.
I know you're really bummed that you were kicked out of your temple and everything, but you can't like it. I don't want you to think it was like for some reason that is like you have this epic that's not what happened.
You mean to say that I was kicked out of my order just because?
They're
was
dicks.
not
Just because they're
good enough?
dicks. Not
What?
like don't throw all of us into some huge thing because you're mad because you got tossed out of your order.
I'm just saying it's kind of strange that we stumbled upon a demonic plot in the middle of a city that we've never been to before.
Yeah, and it's really straining on some of us, especially yourself.
Well, yes.
So, like, I'm just saying, you remember when you charged the demon and I had to like pull you out?
Oh. 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 I think I understand where you're coming from now.
Okay. Like, you're gonna be fine, man. You're gonna be okay. I'm here. We're gonna work on this together, okay?
Okay. I trust you, White Ape.
I'm glad. All right. Great.
I don't think that you'd lead me anywhere wrong.
All right, let's get back to the
We
others.
met up in the woods.
Good talk.
I don't know what I would have done if you weren't able to hunt the food that we ate. I would have probably still been eating those berries that were making me sick.
Yeah, but it's not like destiny that brought us together. It's like, it just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you meet someone
Chance.
who knows that the berries are poisonous and that I shouldn't be eating them anymore. And that's the power of knowledge.
All right. Hey guys.
I'm sorry, Howard.
All good.
I noticed the oh god, baseball.
Guys, we're
All right,
getting
so you
nice
arrived
and,
at
nice
the
and
library.
zen over there.
Yeah.
That was my understanding, right? You were headed for the Grand Library?
Yeah, we were
Mhm.
headed for where
Oh,
Ka
library
Ellis is.
in the
Yes.
city? Yeah.
And the Grand
Well,
Library is in the
Clarify
palace.
for me. Did he give you directions to the library that he worked at, or did he just tell you where he lived? I don't really remember.
He's
Both are locations he might have given out, and I'll be honest, I didn't write down which one it was. Was it
He
the
I don't
said-
library?
think he gave us either. He told us where he worked.
Okay,
he didn't
well, then
give
it would
us-
be the library, so that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay.
Okay.
He told us where he worked and that he was in commission
Okay.
from the princess.
I'm really glad you remember, because like I said, I forgot to make a note of it. I
Yeah.
do remember telling you to contact him later and where that would be. I honestly forgot where it was. So, but if he told you where he worked, then it would be the big library. If it was his house, it'd be a totally different scene. So I want to run it right.
He's in his like PJs, like I told you to come at a decent time. Now I'm about to go to bed.
Well, that would be hilarious. That would not be the scene of his house. His house is a totally different thing. But you go to the library. However, it is evening. You've been traveling through the dark and the cold. Not a mystical, evil, oppressive cold, so much as it's winter in Vallanthia. And y'all have dealt with the ice and the snow and all this up until now. It's not a shock at this point. So the library is a large structure. It is kind of a big squarish looking building, or I should say rectangular in that it's much taller than a square would be, with each corner looking like a cylindrical tower. And the whole place is made of a cold gray stone. There are parapets, I believe that's what it's called, those things at the top of the tower that have like multiple like places for archers could shoot you from, although you don't see people patrolling it. And then from the center of that comes a smaller tower with a conical roof at the end.
I believe you're right to call it a parapet and the murder holes.
Yeah, cool. Hey, I love it when I get stuff right. Because that's just fun. All right, so that's what you're looking at. There is a sign outside that thankfully Esri can tell you beyond the symbol of a book. It literally says Library of Vallanthia. Sorry, Grand Library of Vallanthia, which Esri can read, and the rest of you are like, book. That's probably the place.
I will tell them it says that it is the Grand Library of Vallanthia.
This is obviously the Grand Library because it has a giant book on the front, and the book is larger than any other book.
And two
You say
lions on
that,
either
and you
side
walk
of the
directly
stairs.
into a store that only sells pornography books.
Yeah.
This is the Grand Library of Vallanthia. I saw the book on the window.
The one that's being put into a brown paper bag.
I love these books.
Well,
I didn't
yes.
know you could do that.
While these books may be provocative, it is quite enjoyable.
Wait, this one is written in Elysian. It says Kama Sutra, which means, oh my.
Well, I do see why they would want to document this, yes.
She's in bed, right?
It is quite impressive.
No, she's not in bed. Oh.
Have I said something bad so our other people can hear us?
Well, there's a child in the room. She has headphones on, so I hope she didn't hear any of that.
Well, to be fair, I said Kama Sutra, which isn't technically bad words.
True, true.
I think. I don't know. I don't speak Hindi. Is that right? That's Indian, right?
Remember, kids,
Well,
don't Google the
there's
cool
over 200
word.
languages on that subcontinent.
Remember, kids,
Well, then I'm probably safe.
remember,
Punjabi
kids,
is
do not
probably the
Google
one
the
that one's
interesting
from, but I'm
word
not
of
sure.
Kama Sutra. Don't do it.
All I heard was Sutra, don't do it from White Ape.
Yeah, I said, remember, kids watching this stream right now, don't Google the cool, naughty word of Kama Sutra.
You shush, because she has
I
a
think
computer.
it's two
Shush.
words, but I'm not sure.
It is 2 words.
4 letters for
just
the
don't-
first
You know
one.
what?
Just
You
don't
be
look.
quiet, because it's past your bedtime.
Just don't look up anything with the word sutra in it, because you're just gonna like read a lot of Chopra, Deepak Chopra stuff. And it's gonna take you down.
Y'all are
a bad
gonna
rabbit
get
hole.
me. y'all are
Or
gonna get
if
me
you're
in
just
trouble with
doing the
my
second
roommate.
word, you'll probably get a lot of YouTube videos on surgeries and sutures.
Instead, look up something totally safe like 2 girls, 1 cup. It's where 2 girls share a cup.
Sutras are actually like a mantra. That's what a sutra is, or like a practice.
Yeah, sutras are a practice, man. Okay, we go into the library.
All right.
All right, library. Let's keep going that direction before I get in trouble.
All right. You walk into the library. And as you walk in, vaulted ceilings, the doors, by the way, at most structures in Vallanthia, not necessarily the individual homes, but most of the buildings have doorways that are over 3 meters, which for those that need it translated, that means about 10 feet tall.
So
Thank you.
when Esri explained to us, or who would have explained to us where we're going? Like who knows where we're going best?
Who knows what a library is? I'm not sure what you're asking.
Exactly. Who knows what a library is?
I think that
The place to store
most of you
books.
would understand it's a place where books are stored.
I get that, but I feel like
Except maybe the fungus. The Mycenaean does not understand that there's a place where books are stored because his society
No.
doesn't have books.
I
But
imagine.
you know what? I will explain that to him the way I explain everything to him.
That is fine.
I'm
He's like,
used to it by now.
oh,
My
you
character,
write it all down?
my character.
He explains the oral history of his people as you're walking along, and he won't
Yes.
stop.
So the reason why
No, he won't.
the reason why I asked is because the Huldafolk use keemstones, and I didn't know if that was like
No, the
majority
Keemstones is
and
a
all.
thing that is a secret to the Huldafolk. Literally, I put that in there, and yet
I
you
know.
have brought it up several times in game.
Well, no. Oh, Sealy, I'm bringing it up because I'm wondering if that's how they store all of their knowledge, or if that's only how they store
they just
very
take ink and
specific
paper.
knowledge.
So
Oh no, your people use ink and paper for the most part because the Keemstones are valuable and ink and paper is not.
Okay, well that's what I was wondering. So what level, like what
It's-
scale they used it on?
Yeah,
and whether
if
I
you're
would
gonna use a
recognize-
Keemstone to record something, it's gonna be like the confessions of like the high magistrate and how he did some things that he absolutely should not have, which like decimated a kingdom. Okay, maybe that, but for the
Okay.
most part, we're using
That's-
ink and paper. The Keemstone is super expensive.
That's exactly what I was.
Terry-
Just
wanting
like
to
you
know.
don't normally etch a book in gold because what?
Tarek,
No. We can make gold looking ink much cheaper than using gold.
Tarek,
I just didn't know if they like stored a bunch of concepts, and that's how they taught the young ones like to keep the tradition or whatever. That's
I
what
know
they
it's
would
not like a
reference.
Jedi holocron situation.
So
Yeah,
Tarek,
exactly. So
Tarek-
that's good to know.
Tarek, you probably have been in a library in that temple. That temple probably has a library.
Exactly, but I didn't know if they were going to be libraries filled with keemstones or
I
libraries.
will give you this:
that
there
were-
could be situations where Keemstone could be used for like a Jedi holocron, where we teach something very specific that's hard to express on paper.
exactly.
But for the most part, most knowledge can be just written down.
Now,
Or easily just spoken. Yeah.
my character does
You grew up
read,
in a woods.
has read some Sylvanar books that, and I know what a library is. I've never been in a library, but I know what one is.
Oh yeah. Well,
Look
because
what
I was
people
gonna
have done
say
to these trees.
whether or not my character was like surprised that they were in book form or not. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, no, it's going to be all books in here. This is a human library. But as far as you know, you're expected to be pretty much books, scrolls.
Yeah.
Be right
Pictograms,
back.
because they're lower intelligence beings.
Pictograms.
It's a lot of
Hieroglyphics on the walls.
Exactly. Picture
men like
books.
this, men like this. Sheaf of
gotta-
grain, sheaf of
It's
grain.
got to be easy for humans to understand. So
Two squiggly lines, falcon.
exactly. Or it's just like pop-up books. Oh, this is interesting. Got to keep our attention.
All right, so you enter the Grand Library. As I said before, there's a 10-foot doorway to go in. There are vaulted ceilings.
Yep.
The walls have bookshelves built into them that go up the vaulted ceilings. In some places, you can see that there are ladders on tracks they have wheels on the bottom of the ladder and there's like basically an extension from the ladder that sticks into a track, so the ladder can be dragged across the shelf to get to places that are hard to reach. It's not a complex mechanic, but it is more complex than you would expect from a regular like bookstore or anything like that. Beyond that, there are multiple shelves throughout the building that are just independently standing in the middle of the building. There's a big walkway between all of that, leading from the doorway towards the back of the building. And as you look to your right, there are less shelves on the right immediately, as there's an open area that leads to a desk where there's an older woman who is sitting, and it looks like she's reading a book.
Makes sense.
So-
Where she's
Before you
at.
walk in.
So how do we find Ka Ellis?
I think we talked to her.
She's reading a book. I wouldn't want to be disturbed if I was reading a book.
Strong point. Can't bother someone while they're reading a book. You should wait.
Maybe we should search around.
Yeah, okay. What about you
I mean,
guys?
It's a library. It should be pretty safe.
Koya, have you ever been in a library? Do you know how to find something in here? Or someone?
I've never been in this library. I don't read Vallanthia.
Esri, do they have libraries in the deep dark caves?
Good question. Or do they?
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
Do we
They
have
have
libraries
great
down in the
libraries.
deep dark caves?
I mean, yeah, you would totally have like books and a library. It's not a foreign concept to you.
Okay.
A lot of what you teach is a mix of oral history and actually from books, because there's a lot of your military ways are more just like hands-on than they are requiring you to go read something. But they do store knowledge. They do have libraries.
You're not supposed to be on the table. You're not supposed to be on the table.
I understand the concept of libraries. You wish me to find something in this one?
Shh. Shh. We're in a library.
I'm not shouting.
That person's reading right over there.
All right. Is there something you wish me to locate?
Ka Ellis.
Ka Ellis is not a book.
No.
No, but he works here.
Yeah.
But if you understood the Dewey Decimal System, you could figure out where he was.
If
don't
only I
think that's
never
how
spent
that
the time to learn.
That was kind of my point. I was like, if you're tapping me in because I read Vallanthia, and I don't see how that helps if he's not a book.
He's clearly under
I've never met the dude, so I don't know why you
732.3.
turned to me in the first place.
Perhaps we can go speak to someone at the front desk.
Oh, there's a front desk. Is that what that is?
I thought that's what she was.
I thought she was just reading there.
I thought she was the librarian.
Is she the librarian?
She looks very matronly.
I'll go inquire.
librarians
if
women?
She's familiar with Ka Ellis. How about that?
Yeah, okay. That's
So
awesome.
I
a good
walk
idea.
over and I kind of like tap on the desk to get her attention.
All right. As you walk up, she is engrossed in a book, and she doesn't really seem to pay attention to you. You tap on the desk, and without even looking up, she kind of holds the finger up, and she kind of finishes what she's reading. Then she reaches over and she grabs a bookmark and puts it in the book, closes the book, and looks up at you. And she's an older woman, and as you get closer, you're going to see immediately that she's not human. She is a tiny old gnome woman, and she has like thick, like bottle-looking lenses in a contraption that is held in place by two pieces of wood that are nailed together like by a little screw contraption here, and they're bent over her nose.
Yes.
And
I'll-
she looks up at you and she takes them off and like squints at you real hard. What?
I say to her, forgive me for disturbing you. Is there someone around here who might be able to give me some information?
What kind of book are you looking for? I can find them all.
Actually, I was wondering if you were familiar with someone by the name of Ka Ellis.
Oh, him. Yeah, that's an old elf, and he's kind of a jerk. What do you need to know?
I was.
She's looking at her book like she wants to read her book.
I just need to find him. If you could perhaps point me in that direction, I'd be happy to let you get back to your book.
Well, at this hour, he's clearly gone home, hasn't he? Why are you bothering me? Go to his house. Leave me alone.
Could you tell me where his house is? Perhaps you could write it down and I hand her something to write with, the address.
She looks at you. She's like,
are you gonna mug him? And you're like, that's racist.
if you don't know him well enough to know where he lives, why would I be telling you where he lives?
Because we're good friends of his, and he told us to come here to find him if we needed help.
Which is exactly what a psychotic killer would say. Oh no, I'm his friend. It's totally okay.
I kind of tap Esri on the shoulder, lean in, and whisper very quietly, I think she wants a bribe.
I walk up.
At this point,
I lean over to Esri and go,
before y'all walk up or do anything, she says, she looks over and she goes, kitty, kitty, kitty. And she calls a cat over to her, and she picks the cat up and she points it at you, and the cat looks uncomfortable being picked up, as cats do. I can demonstrate, but I'll piss off my cat.
I think we're all familiar with this concept.
The cat looks at you, but doesn't really react. But it's more like, just put me down, but doesn't have any special reaction to you. And she puts the cat down.
I walk up and I say, you think she wants to do something bad to Ka Ellis? Ka Ellis saved this woman's life. She wants to...
Pat. Library, volume.
When he says that, I lean over to Esri and go, yeah, I would have. I suck at persuading people to like me too.
So she picks up the cat again and she points it at White Ape.
Persuasion roll?
And then she puts the cat down again.
I pat the cat on the head.
Howard, can I roll a persuasion roll to persuade her that I mean him no harm?
Sure.
I'll help. I'll aid because I'm like...
That's something I have a decent stat in, so let me try that.
I'm kind of getting upset because I'm like, she's... So I'm aiding, so I'll have to roll dice too, I believe.
You do have to describe... I assume she's going to say something to try and persuade her. And you have to describe how you're persuaded.
I said,
but
like,
yes, you can both make
I'm getting very passionate and saying, Ka Ellis saved her life and she wants to go see him because he saved her life.
Okay, I'm going to say to her, Ka Ellis is a very good friend of mine. I care for him deeply, and I'm worried he might be in some trouble from some rumors I've heard. So I want to go check on his welfare and make sure he's all right.
I'm not lying, but I'm...
And I rolled the 17, so...
Well, you did... Oh, yeah, no, the one doesn't count against you. So, yeah, you're good.
I made a 13.
Winterborn's good, and you're good. Yeah, both of you did the 6-1 thing. That's great. But the one doesn't count against you if it's on the wild die after the initial wild die. So you are both fine. Those are great rolls. You make a very impassioned case. First of all, does anyone else walk up, or is it just those two?
I stay back.
Worried about his safety.
People
Also-
don't like me, so yeah, I'm gonna stay back.
Also, your cat is cute, and what's its name? Also, your cat is...
Good plan there.
She looks
Good
at you
plan.
and she goes, "This is Mittens." And as she's holding this cat, it was a calico cat, but its paws are white. And like everybody who has cats who have uniquely colored paws, she named it Mittens because she's a basic woman.
Yeah.
Oh, what a lovely kitty you are, Mittens. I can tell you seem like a good judge of character. Surely you
And
know
the-
you mean
You are
no
a good
harm.
man.
And with your excellent persuasion roll, that comes off as not sarcastic at all.
Good.
So
I'll stroke him and kind of purr to him and be real affectionate.
Mittens seems to enjoy attention. And hang on, she had a name. I found her name. There it is. Yes. Oh, you haven't asked her name. So she looks at y'all and looks you over, you and White Ape, not the rest of you, because y'all are in the background somewhere. He goes, all right. I guess it won't do any harm. It's not like you can do anything to him. He's like the most powerful mage ever or whatever.
Of course.
So from here, when you exit the building, you're going to head north, make a left, and go into that really rich side of town where all the fancy houses are that aren't made right. And his is the one that looks, well, it looks, I guess, like a tower, but it's not right. It's more like it's a swoopy shape. And she describes it. And from her description, basically she describes a cylindrical object with a kind of spear at the bottom that kind of comes up into a cylinder. And at the very top, she says smoke comes out occasionally, just kind of randomly in random colors. And it doesn't look big enough to house multiple people. It looks like you could barely walk in there. She doesn't really understand it, but she knows that's where he lives.
So you're saying there's a
based
so
on
he lives
that
in a phallic.
and the directions, you think you could find it.
No, it's not a phallic thing. There's a bulb at the bottom, and then the chimney at the top where the smoke comes out, and then there's a place for the carb.
It's a bong.
It's
yeah,
a
it's
bong tower.
Yeah, that's what I thought immediately when
That's
he was
all it
describing it.
is.
I was
It's a
like,
big old bong
Of
tower.
course, that's what
Giant
you
bong.
thought.
I'm going to have to add a note that I accidentally made a bong tower to my notes.
first thing I thought.
Alrighty, well, I will make a
Not
little
how
map
I
based
thought
off
of it,
her.
but sure.
Yeah, I don't even know how it exists, bro. It's just crazy.
I will draw a little map and make notes off of what she said and thank her for her time and walk away.
You know, the different colored smokes coming out of it doesn't help any either.
Exactly.
Dude.
All right, so he
you
lives in
open-
a tower.
Freebasing in there.
You open the door and it's just prog rock coming at you.
And smoke billowing out.
It's Pink Floyd in Asia.
Is what it is. That's what I described. Not gonna change it now.
And he's
Or
the
just
light.
like, that's
He's
not
the
what I
light
meant.
that lights the pond.
It all
He's the
made
light.
sense in my head at the time. I wasn't even high.
Oh, this is great. Best character design ever. It goes deep.
I love that I have a name written down for the librarian and a description of the cat, but no name for the cat. Y'all managed to get the name of the cat.
Well,
Well, that's because who cares about the librarian's name? All we want to know is about the cat. Naturally.
well, she's a cute old woman too, in the way old people are cute.
Generally, I want to know your cat or your dog's name.
And
I
the
don't
way
care about your
gnomes are
name.
cute.
My
If I
cat is
learn
named
your
after
name,
a
that's
terrorist
just
organization.
incidental.
Gnomes are some of the best.
All right, let's go see Kai Ellis. Thank her for her time and hope the book ends well.
When y'all turn
Like
around,
Howard, in your case, you are just ISIS's human.
I'm
That-
aware.
I look at White Ape after y'all turn around from talking to the old lady, and I'm like, did it work?
We know where we gotta go.
At which point, Eric
I
looks at
hold up
Erda
the
and is
little
like,
map that I drew.
why are we here?
We have to go here.
Come on, guys, let's
So
go.
it did work.
Thank you,
It did
Miss
work. It
Librarian. I
worked.
hope your book is very good and ends very well.
So you follow her directions. It's actually not hard to find. It's more of a walk, of course, to get to where it is. But you're in the rich section of town. Because we have an Earth Mage among us. I'm going to give it to you, Corey. that you'll notice that the shape of the buildings here, the way the rocks are formed into these buildings, there is no natural way this can be done, or even normal mundane way this could be done. Most likely the Earth College was employed to help create these buildings, because none of them look right to you, and yet stone is made into these shapes. A lot of these places are very exotic and amazing looking. Some are huge palisades where one piece of stone comes up and comes out into a giant looking, that Disney looking castle on the Disney logo, like that, as one piece of stone. It's amazing. And then the next one will be like another amazing building like the Taj Mahal, but again, a single piece of stone that looks very thick and very sturdy and can probably withstand a lot of elements. Well made, but again, it doesn't look like it was just made by a simple stone sculptor. It looks like it was made by a very special stone sculptor, which would be one of you guys.
Hey guys, a lot of these buildings around here look like they're made from stone mages. Is the Stone College just builders? Are they just like, I didn't sign up to build houses and underground asylums and stuff like that.
What did you think that the Earth mages would do with their earthly powers?
Commune with the Earth spirits and become more involved with the Earth spirits and understand the spirit of the Earth and learn about the Earth spirits.
Well, I'm sure that there's stuff like that being taught at the college, for sure.
But like, I don't.
Wouldn't you know more about what they do than we would?
Perhaps that's the theory department, and this is the applied department.
Yeah, I don't want to be a builder of rich people's buildings. That sounds like a terrible
something
thing.
you should talk
What
to your
about-
school about.
What about defenses for an army, or
No, I don't want to do that either. They can build their own stuff.
Sounds like a thing to talk to your professors about.
well, at least they'll be able to teach you more about the craft, and then you can perhaps go on your own way and
Yeah,
make
build my
your-
own
your
college.
impact on the art form of the magic itself.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to change your major.
Maybe this is a sign of destiny that you should take on your own path.
I wanted
What are
to
you
be an
talking
accountant,
about?
but
This is
now
a
I'm
sign
going
that
to
fate-
finance. Sorry.
Perhaps this is a sign that fate is telling you, since Mercury is in retrograde, and
The astrologer's house is somewhere else.
Damn you, Mercury.
why are you always in retrograde?
So you do see a building that matches the description that you heard. It's not a perfect bong, as the stat goes straight up, and there is no additional stat going off at a diagonal. But the doorway to this building is, like most of the places, it is a good 3 meters or over 3 meters, about 10 feet. And the shape of the building, though, it looks like if you were to walk in there, all of you, you'd all be standing inside of a small room, as it doesn't look very large. It doesn't make any sense that this would be a huge wizard's tower. It doesn't fit what you imagine. The door shape fits, but after that, everything looks way too small. But it matches the shape and the location correctly to be where you need to be.
I feel slightly concerned that I might not be able to fit inside of this building.
Well, I mean, you can walk in, you'll fit.
Is this
If all
the
your friends
building
walk in
for
with
ants?
you feel like you're going to be very intimate. And hopefully he doesn't bring the goat.
I'm not bringing the goat inside, no. Anyways, I'll let Rudel graze as he does, and I'll knock on the door.
Whirl walks over, starts seeing the flowers out of somebody's garden.
Yeah, sounds great.
The 5-leaf plants
Great.
nearby.
I was gonna say it might be some kind of like alchemist though, and like all of the plants are special ingredients and.
My, oh, you bastards!
My
Those are
cabbages.
important.
You come back out later, and your goat's just laying on its side, stoned out of its mind.
Oh no, he found the good stuff.
Because it was eating the
Indeed.
flowers of a bong house.
These are rich people. They all have like coat of arm flags and banners, and the Rudel's just eating the banners. Like,
That is true of most places, specifically Caught Ellis's. Looks specifically unadorned. It is probably the most boring building you've seen as far as any type of accoutrement. However, the shape of it makes it kind of the most interesting in that it makes no sense. Even compared to all the wacky architecture out here, this place doesn't look like somewhere you could live.
all right, well, I'll knock on the door.
All right, you knock on the door.
I imagine it will open up kind of like Patrick Starr's house, and it will like.
The whole thing just flips back.
Exactly,
You feel
like-
a
and then
staircase
there's
going
like
down.
Exactly.
No. After you knock, and it is a good half minute, which doesn't sound like a lot, but be honest, if you knock on someone's door and you like count to 10 slowly, and you're like, you're not sure, maybe you knock again, you don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good half of a minute before the door opens, and you see a man who looks to your eyes to be goblinoid. And to be clear what that means, in this world, in Vallanthia, or Terra, the name of the planet, goblins and orcs and all those creatures are kind of one race of varying shapes. They are hugely all evil and man-eating and terrorizing and raping and everything bad. But you see a man wearing a suit. He has green skin. He has tusks sticking up out of his underbite. His hair is slicked back, and his pointed ears are cleaned and pointed back, and the hair is picked out of them. He looks very dapper for what appears to be a too tall for a goblin, too short for an orc. An orc. I don't know what an orc is. Maybe that's what he is. You're not sure what he is, but all you can tell is he looks very goblinoid, but at the same time, as if someone took a goblinoid and dressed him very well and trained him to answer the door. As he stands there, he looks you all over in a very proper accent, says, "Hello."
I instantly
What can I
roll
do for
backwards and hide behind Esri and pull out my stick.
He eyes the group.
It's a goblin.
We're here for Carl Ellis.
Ice him back. She's not intimidated.
I
He doesn't look intimidating. He said, "What can I do for you?" I think Corey may have spoken at the same time as me. I don't know if you heard me.
What did you do to Kylus?
I go, we're here for Carl Ellis. I'm assuming you're his.
His manservant, yes.
Of course. Could you take us to him? My name is Erda. My name is Erda. I am a fellow researcher in demonology. I am here to conference with my associate.
They looked over the rest of your group. And your entourage, Sir Erda?
Oh yes, that is Rudel. That is
He points to the
White Ape.
goat
He
first.
introduces the goat first. Clearly the most important member of the party.
That is White Ape, who owns Rudel. That is Koya, who we met earlier today. And this is Esri.
You're forgetting
and she
Erdrick.
is a member of the Royal Guard, as you can see.
Erdrick
I
is
point to her sash.
You're forgetting
Oh,
Erdrick.
and Talm. Talm is a mushroom.
and
Tom
Erdrick.
and Erdrick.
He's a mushroom person.
And Erdrick.
Person.
Erdrick. Erdrick.
He's not just a
Erdrick.
mushroom.
And of course, my closest associate, Erdrick. He cannot speak.
Wow, that's a
our
huge
language.
diss on White Ape.
It is. It really is.
Well, you got to keep your enemies close.
Nice cover. All right, so
No.
he looks you all over and says, "You are welcome into the foyer." And he opens the door wide and gesticulates for you to enter. I assume you all start filing in. Does anyone not go in?
No.
I'm hesitant because I think this is a trick, and I'll like,
Well, Esri went in, so Tom will follow.
yeah, I think this is a trick. So like, I'm gonna wait.
I'll just grab you by the scruff of your neck
I'm-
and pull you along behind you
I'm-
if I have to.
I'm super naive, so I take the guy at his word and I just follow him in.
Okay, Erdo went in, so Erdrick will follow. White Ape was dragged in. Koya? White Ape looked hesitant, but it no longer matters.
Pretty sure I have a stronger strength.
I don't know. White Ape is pretty tough.
Koya, are you going in?
Yes.
White Ape has an arm.
Exactly.
White Ape is very tough, and he also is the first
I
one.
grabbed him by his shirt, not his arm.
White Ape is also the first one to run away.
Are you going to stop her from dragging you in? I guess is the real,
Me, no,
real
no,
question
no.
here.
We're
Okay.
good. We're
Everyone
All
else
right, it looks like everyone is
in.
going in. As you are all entering, you will immediately notice that this place is, I hate to say it, larger on the inside.
Oh, wow. I never would have thought.
Of course it is.
Hey.
In fact, it isn't just large. As you enter, you will see that there are 3 distinct paths that you can follow: right, left, and forward. And at the moment, the man who is leading you into the building and holding the door for you, looks over you all and indicates for you to go left and says, "Please wait in the foyer." And he is as proper and perfect in pitch to match human Vallanthian speech, and also sound extremely dignified. He's almost like a perfect Alfred in voice, not in appearance, because Alfred
Right.
is not goblinoid in any way, shape, or form. It's like someone took Alfred and turned him into a goblin and then made him still do his regular daily chores.
While I may
That's
have
awesome.
while I may have predicted that
I
the
want
house was
one.
bigger on the inside than it was on the outside, Erda did not. So as soon as he sees that this house is way bigger on the inside, he's like, "Oh wow, this is impressive. Some great form of magic is at work here." And he's trying to like take it in as he's looking around, kind of in awe of what he's looking at.
As you do, I will say that with your scholarly knowledge as a wizard, you look over the place and you don't see anything indicating, like, there's no like runes carved into the place indicating for the space to change shape. And I say that specifically to you due to your knowledge.
Yeah.
You don't see anything that would indicate why this place is different than you would expect. It just is.
Which is more reason for my character to look around impressed. Just like, wow, this place is dope. Where everybody else might have been like, oh yeah, we saw this coming. He genuinely looks impressed by this entire space.
All right. And now,
No, I'd say my character looks pretty impressed too. She looks a little confused, but impressed.
what might I get you for refreshments as I summon the master? And he will name off drinks that are common to each of your races. Whether you prefer them or not is up to you. And then he will name off, as well as not necessarily like main course foods, but more like snack foods.
Impressive.
Yeah, I will jump excitedly at the opportunity to eat and drink something culturally relevant to me, because it will be the first time that I've actually had something culturally like familiar
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah,
yes.
I'd say ditto on that.
I feel like White Ape might be like, what?
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just like, why is that goblin asking me what I want to drink? This is some kind of trick.
This is some horrible, horrible trick.
Koya, you are offered a wine that you know to be of Fey origin and not normally of something that anyone outside of your islands capable of even knowing about. And yet, this goblin in a suit has just offered it to you.
He's like the best host ever, clearly.
I just wish to make everyone comfortable. What might I get you? As you look uncomfortable, have I distressed you? He says to White Ape.
Why are you You say you're working for Kailis?
Yes, I am his manservant.
How long have you worked for Kailis?
What year is it now? I've been in this house for some time.
You've never left this house?
He's like, what century
not.
is it?
I look around this place. You said it was like 3 hallways or 3 like caves, or what was it?
There were 3. Oh no, this place is like a mansion on the inside.
Ah.
There were 3 hallways distinct, and he guided you down the left path,
Right.
which led into a huge foyer, which has, the vaulted ceilings. There's a lot of couches and places to sit, with coffee tables all spread about for places to eat from. There are a lot of books around that are just laid about if you'd like to read something. There are sconces? That's not the right word.
Sconches, yeah.
Sconces. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sconces, yeah.
Sconces, not sconches. Sconces. I was like, I'm close.
Sconces.
All right.
Squanching is now another thing.
Squanching.
Squanching sounds dirty. I don't know what it means, but but I'm sure Erda does. You dirty elf. Right. That's why they are so mysterious. Those hula folk. They're dirty.
Yeah, we're busy squanching ourselves.
Do you have... Were you always working for Kailis, or do you remember... What were you before you were working for Kailis?
Oh, it wouldn't be upon me to impart my life history to you unless it's truly of interest. I don't wish to bore anyone. I just wish to get your refreshment, sir.
He's like, just tell me what you want to drink already.
I'll take a whiskey and honey glazed meat on a stick.
I've seen a lot of you guys, and you usually steal and kill people. Why are you
I
here?
do apologize for that. It wasn't me.
I know it wasn't. Fine, just
That's fair. Why?
I
if it
understand
wasn't
your
him-
prejudices and I accept them.
He's right. You are being kind of prejudiced. I mean, look
Oh
at
no,
some
it's
of the
totally
things people
warranted.
say
My
about.
kind is awful.
Or it's not for the uplifting hands of my Mastercard Ellis.
I mean, look at some of the things people say about us underdwellers. The nerve.
True.
Oh no, you
People
should
don't
definitely
even
not
believe-
trust any of us you see outside of this place.
It's true.
Heck, you
Many
saw
people,
someone like me in this place. I wouldn't trust that either.
many people don't even believe that my race exists anymore.
I have to hide constantly from bands of these things in the mountains.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
what was,
good
What
point.
was your name?
I can totally understand why you would have a problem.
I'm talking to the manservant. I'm sorry. What was your name, sir?
My name is Nathan.
Nathan, what makes you different from others of your kind?
I'm not sure.
Does it have something to do with Ka Ellis or this place?
I think what sets
I would
him
assume
apart from
Kailis,
the
he
rest
is
of
quite
his kind,
powerful.
I would assume what sets him apart from others of his kind is a fine appreciation of culture.
Well,
That could very well be it.
okay, I'll take something to drink. It'll be fine, I guess. Just, all right. Howard, at this point, we got to call game. It's 9:30, and I got dinner happening.
12:30 here.
all
I
that
was
kind of
about
stuff.
to call game. I knew that, but I hadn't quite gotten to the point that I wanted to call it at yet. But if you want to call it now, we'll call it.
Bossy.
No, we're good. Calling game, guys.
First, we need your drink order, damn it.
No, I got Koya's. But he will bring y'all whatever y'all want. We are calling game here.
Alrighty.
All right, hey everybody. Thanks for watching. If you watched this all the way through, you obviously like to hit the like button. We try and do this every Friday, as many Fridays in a row as we can. So hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you're notified when we do it. Other than that, like, Howard, anything else you want to add?
Good.
All right, goodbye.
Oh, I guess we could say we're not going to be here for a couple of weeks.
Okay. We might be off for 2 weeks until after
That's
October.
all Corey's fault.
Yes.
Is
We'll
the
see you later.
thing? Oh, first I've heard. Okay.
Bye.
No, we won't. First weekend.